0 plus 0 is still 0. So
Well, I mean, it's not just the ad stuff. It's also I think it more so pertains to partners at the moment, but whatever usually happens to partners eventually comes to affiliates. But they're also getting like a revenue cut and stuff.
yeah, so that's basically why I wanted to bring it up too, because like we're both affiliates,
Hmm.
and like for me, I'm like, don't we get like 50% of the subs
Yes,
or something like that?
we get
And
50-50 basically.
yeah, and after the change, it's still gonna be 50-50.
Yes, but partners it was I think 70-30, and I think they
Yeah,
dropped them down to 50-50.
yes. So as far as how it affects me, I'm like, nothing's changing.
Mm-hmm.
Um, the only thing that is changing, as far as sub revenue, nothing's changing. As
Mm-hmm.
far as ad revenue, that's something that I'm able to do now. So it's as far as a streamer and as far as a business and stuff like that, it's a plus because we get access to these tools, right?
Yes, but the thing is, beforehand, it was manageable. Now, with the change, I'm pretty sure you have to run 3 times as many ads as before just to make the same amount of money. That's what we were talking about during my stream.
Okay.
So you have to
So,
run like 3 times as many ads to make the exact same money.
okay. But before, when they implemented the whole, like, either you, um, what is happening? Oh, the whoosh thing from the enchantment little effect. It it looked weird for a second. Um, like on my OBS, it looked like it was like blurry slow motion,
Hmm.
and it was it was kind of mesmerizing. But like, I was like, what is that? Is that what my game actually looks like? And it
Yo,
kind
you're talking
of.
about OBS. I added a new doc to my OBS because I figured it out.
Ooh.
Yes. Um, I added to where I can see when an ad is coming up because usually in chat
Oh,
everybody just posts what their ads are. Now I'll physically be able to see when an ad's coming up, warn people as ads coming up, and make sure I'm not doing anything that people might want to see during that 1 minute ad.
that's cool. Is that like a that's just like a OBS thing? It's not like a Twitch letting you know kind of thing.
Well, the thing is, there's like a Twitch does let me know, but it only lets me know at the very top part where you have like the session, viewers, followers, all that stuff.
Uh
There's
huh.
like a little thing that tells me when the pre-rolls are off, and it usually comes up when an ad rolls, but it doesn't tell me exactly when the ad rolls because I have ads set for every hour, 1 minute of ads.
Okay.
This right here actually shows me a physical picture going into the stream. It has a countdown when the ad's going to start. So I have a
Okay.
visual thing now.
Okay.
Yeez.
Cool. Um. Sorry. I'm up. So. So you see the picture that I sent you? Signature.
Signature, if you've been talking this whole time, we do not hear you.
No, I've just been sitting here listening to y'all talk Twitch stuff.
Okay.
Ah.
Okay,
I've been very
which
quiet.
picture did you send me?
Oh
Uh.
crap! How do I reload my UI?
Oh, F1.
Yeah.
Look at all the buttons I got. Uh, yeah, it was. I think you had left. and then
Oh,
it is,
from last stream.
yeah.
Yes, you guys, you did a lot.
Huh?
In the Nether?
Really? Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
some things that we thought you would be mad about.
No, Taco told me that you guys, instead of going further down, you're going to extend out like how you were doing before.
Wait. That I haven't. That wasn't part. So
That wasn't it.
So from the picture, from the
I'm
picture that I
so
sent,
lost.
what? Yeah, from the picture that I sent, what did you notice that was different?
Hold up. I gotta pull back up the picture then.
Yeah, and then I'll make the announcement because that wasn't decided until like a couple days ago.
Oh, I'm so sorry. Um, what is the light source that you used in the path?
Fire.
Fire.
Oh, did you put glass over it?
Yes.
Okay, because like with RTX, it's hard for me to tell what in the world. I can just tell it is a light source. Is that the thing
Yeah.
you're talking about?
Yeah. Signature had mentioned something, and it like in the back of my head was like brewing, and then it kind of clicked, and I was like, you know what? What does it look like if I did that? And I put fire in the path where the ribs are, and covered it with glass, and I absolutely love it. And then also in the sides, instead of having a torch in the corner, I did the same thing.
So
And
he's trying to say it's my fault that he wants to change everything now.
That's an easy change, honestly.
well, it looks better. Like it
Yeah, and
doesn't
it's
have
an easy change to do.
It doesn't have torches everywhere.
Yes, torches are annoying and don't look that great.
Yeah.
Okay, well, since you like it, it was all my idea, and I made it. The betterment of the world.
Oh, so now you want to take it. Because,
Well, I was like, we gotta redo stuff again.
see, Signature, I understand because I've been playing on Taco's over for a while that Taco's bound to change something, and 9 times out of 10, it ends up having to be redone. So I am always prepared for when something's going to have to be redone. So you saying that you want to redo this doesn't.
It's not that
Doesn't.
big of a deal.
Okay. All right, and then, the new thing that I thought of like last Wednesday, is where are you, Signature?
I'm looking
In the
for...
base.
There you go. Third place.
Huh?
He's in the base.
I'm
Oh,
at home.
okay. Oh, okay. So, wait, the pathway is not going to be like 80 miles straight anymore.
Are we at least going down to how far I've at least already done? I will be upset about that one now.
Wait, what?
Like, I've already went down and made extra. Are we like...
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. Basically, we're basically like doing 2 more paths going as far down, and then like we'll
I
expand out again and go far down.
I am the Nuggie.
So we
Yes,
don't
you
need no more
are. How
beds.
are you
No,
today,
we definitely
Cat?
still need beds. And then Ray, she's tired, so we don't have anybody to make beds today.
Well, I have 4 beds, and I can go shear sheep.
Yes. So basically, what Taco means is when you were making that long tunnel that you weren't supposed to make, now it's acceptable.
Now it's acceptable.
Yes.
Yeah, because I was listening to us, and like, even like before we started, like before we made the comeback, we were
Don't
like,
call it a
man.
comeback because I never left.
Also, Cat,
Yeah,
look,
before we,
Signature has his own
did the
avatar
comeback,
now.
Like everybody said that the
You wanted
tunnel
to
was
be
too
the
long.
monkey from
And
Dragon
they said it
Ball.
multiple times, and I'm like, all right, I hear everybody.
Also,
So
let's keep
he's
making
not
it
a monkey.
So
Alright, where are these sheeps at?
In the barn.
in the
You're-
sheep/cow barn.
Your woolen belonging to me.
Wait a
Yeah,
minute.
it's going down, son.
It's going down. I'm yelling timber. You better
What?
move.
What? Hold on.
You better.
What is up? What is up with Jeb?
Oh, do you not know about Jeb?
Why is he RGB'd out?
That's Jeb. Oh, wait a minute. Wait a minute. I gotta show you something. If you don't know about Jeb, then you don't know about this one either.
Oh no.
Oh,
It is
Oh,
cramped in here. Good God.
yeah.
it's fine. We're not.
We're not
we
at
don't.
capacity yet.
Yes, and we
This-
don't need to call. We don't need to call anybody about it either.
Like the fire
You see,
marshal.
you see this? You see this?
Not the
people?
fire
This is what
marshal. The animal people.
PETA.
Yes, we don't need to call them.
You see this, people? This is what capitalism does right here.
No, capitalism. What do we have signs trying to sell
efficiency?
stuff?
We're cramming all these
I
things
am
into a
okay,
little
doing better
area
today versus yesterday, slowly
to
getting better,
manage
and that's kind
money,
of scary.
and capitalism.
It's
guys,
kind of
is
scary that
bad.
you're
Are you
doing
talking about
better, or
factory
kind of
farming?
scary.
Factory
What's kind
farming,
of scary?
that's-
But I am very
No,
happy that
this
you are
is
doing a lot
free
better.
range.
I know it's gonna take time, but
It might be
I
free
am
range, but
really
you
happy you're
give a lot of
feeling a
range to
lot
be free.
better.
It's it's technically free range.
Mm.
They all have land to walk on.
They all have 1 square foot of land to exist on.
Isn't that what the whole thing is for it technically to be called free range?
I
Yeah,
think so.
A lot of the people that say they're free range is really still like really cooped together, but it's just slightly bigger than the other stuff. So they're like, yeah, we're
Yeah.
free range.
Yeah, they're like all the lawyers got in. They're like, what's the actual details?
Oh,
Like, we
you
need
mean
measurements.
signatures
Like,
on
it
PNGAvatar?
needs to have.
I mean, technically,
1
that's
square
what
foot
that's
of-
what he looks
Yeah,
like in
open
Dragon Ball
land.
Z
They're like,
because
cool.
it's the angry
It's
monkey.
free
It's not
range
like the cute
inside
little
this box,
monkey.
but once you get out of
And
this
so
box,
when
then it's bad.
it that's what
That's
happens.
someone
You-
else's range.
And you get shot. You don't want to get shot. Stay in the box.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure I remember seeing a farmer's TikTok because for some reason my TikTok trends are food, farming and gardening, and then Minecraft.
All of that actually stacks because farming and gardening, of course, and then you get food from farms and gardens. So, boom.
That must be because I'm like, how do I get on the gardening farmer side? Like, this one TikTok, I literally just watch her collect eggs. And I'm like, this is just interesting. Now, my
Oh.
favorite chicken that she has is named Wendy.
Wendy.
Yes.
Shout out to Wendy. Shout out to Wendy laying all those eggs. Keep up the good work, Wendy.
It literally, that's all. That her TikTok just combined and it's all like, I'm here to collect the rent. And then she just goes in there and she's like, who's in the box? Who's in the box? It's Wendy. And I'm like, ah, yes, this just makes my day.
this,
And that's all it is.
this farmer sounds amazing.
That one's.
Sure. Before you come back, are you back?
For me,
Okay. What did I come to do?
back where?
Down here.
Oh, I need a name tag.
Oh,
That's
no,
what I came
no,
to do.
I just finished shooting the sheep.
Okay.
Whoa, they gave out a lot of wool. I was not expecting that.
Yeah. Hey, Tucker, how mad would you be if I put what I'm about to do on a horse?
About as mad as usual, I guess.
Okay, I'm not gonna be mad then, so it's fine. Where's an anthill?
Oh no! Fuck!
Taco?
Just say, where's an anthill?
Anvil. But now I kind of want to know why.
Anvil.
Now I kind of want to know why Taco was screaming.
Don't go upstairs anymore.
What?
Unless
What?
we have a giant visitor that somehow is able to spawn
Oh!
in the
Did
hallway.
it finally happen to you?
There's a ghast?
Yes. You
Yeah.
didn't believe me that one stream, and I don't have proof of it because that wasn't when I was collecting streams. I told you that could happen.
Yeah, I said it last week. There was a ghast in there.
Well, there's a ghast in there now.
Did you spank it tiny? and tell it to leave?
No, I screamed and ran upstairs.
Okay, I'm pretty
Oh.
sure this is all I need.
Yeah.
You should have spent
What
the time.
the it? Hey, Taco.
do it. Hello.
When's
Hey, kid.
the last time you've been in the horse barn?
I don't think I've been. I don't think I've ridden a horse in a long time.
Would you real quickly like to come and visit the horse barn real quickly?
I would much rather be there than where I currently am.
Yeah, I would really love you to see the situation that's going on in here.
Oh my god.
What the?
Yeah, I don't even know. They can't even open these. That's why I don't even know how. What?
Oh, the birds. Sorry.
Really?
Yeah,
I'm here. I'm not here.
I don't know how they.
What's happening with the cloud?
I'm so lost.
Did they climb up this and then go?
What's that? What's that?
Like, do you not see the?
Oh.
And
Hey,
then
guys.
do you see the one in the window?
Window.
What?
Yeah.
What's up with his ears?
What? What? Oh. Wait, what?
What? Why are y'all all looking at me? I don't like you. Y'all are creepy.
I'm so confused.
So they threw themselves in the brig?
I guess. I'm so lost because I don't know why they would even be in here.
These guys are animals.
And do none of the cats have names anymore?
Nah,
them do.
some of them have names. You said you wanted to name them all the different AI systems, and we didn't have enough.
Name tags, yeah.
AI systems.
Yeah, so we have Cortana, we have
Mortana.
Don't mind me. I'm just
Bortana.
firing a few people that we
Cortana.
don't
There we go.
need.
um
Stay over there,
unplugged
horse.
so I can say it. Echo?
Dolphin.
No, the other name for the Amazon one.
See, look, it's gonna be Echo the Dolphin. Echo the Dolphin gets priority over that name. So
Yeah.
screw it. Screw it,
I
Amazon.
have dealt with the situation going on.
Cool.
Cool. Now I need to deal with this situation.
Yeah, so we got Cortana, we got Echo. I guess we could do Alexa too.
There we go. I dealt with that situation too.
And then we're gonna have Bixby.
Bortana.
Okay, so Kat, do
Sure,
you know what
Tana.
happens when you
Google.
put this
Sure,
name
Tana.
tag on an animal?
Tortana.
Um,
Your Tana. Your from Family Spy Family.
oh yeah.
Hey,
Oh,
signature.
What happened?
Where
Are
are
you
you?
running a horse
I was
upside
like,
down?
what the? That's my horse.
I'm pretty sure that's illegal.
Um, poor horse.
Woo!
Ray over here karate kicking the trash can.
She's got to assert dominance.
Yeah.
Show that trash can who's boss.
So
What the
I
hell?
thought
You scared the crap out of me. Oh my god. Do I even want to know how this happens?
Well, this is dinner
So-
bone.
This dinner bone just rides upside down.
dinner bone.
What the heck? Alright, well, you just go yourself, Dinnerbone. Don't let the world change you.
Yeah, these.
I thought you were just gonna do another sheep.
No, I thought it would be more funny to do a horse. That's why I asked you how mad would it be.
I will ask. Yes.
But I also did a dud, so I didn't do a good horse. So.
Yes.
Ah, okay. And then we got Pebbles and Bam Bam as cats.
But yeah,
Oh.
so
Are we gonna do Garfield?
so
So love
yeah,
Garfield
we
as a
need
kid.
name tags still.
And a Heathcliff.
So you can do
You
Jeff
consider
underscore
Garfield to be a
on a
Heathcliff spin-off?
on a sheep, and you'll get a rainbow sheep. You can
Or,
do Dinnerbone on any mob,
not
and
a
it will make
spin-off,
them
I'm sorry.
upside down.
Like Plage
And then
Bags
the other
or
one
copy-
is
copycat. Garfield
something
or
with
what
a
is it?
bunny.
Copycat of Heathcliff.
I think if you put killer bunny, it becomes like a black and white bunny.
No,
Can't remember.
They aren't really the same.
But they're like the same color and the same kind of design, just different kind of story.
Oh. I would say Johnny Bravo was stolen.
Who copied Johnny Bravo?
So the person who made Johnny Bravo,
I'm also working on like audio stuff.
either the people who have Johnny Bravo now, either I think they
Think that should be
they
good.
brought him on. I don't remember the exact
'Cause
story.
I don't know if I
but
want to
know
raise my
that,
volume
one of
or
my teachers when I was in
what, but
college
I think
was a
that
friend
should be
of the
good
guy
for
who
now.
made the original Johnny Bravo.
Was that Gendy Tartakovsky or was that somebody else?
I think it was. Oh,
But how's your homework coming along, Kat?
I don't know, but I know there was a situation where he didn't want to give it up, so they're like, okay.
I also
and
don't
then
know what's
made
going on.
something almost identical, and then just went without him. And they changed it, like just how the whole like, as long as you have one square foot, you're technically free range. It was like they changed like enough like lines in the character art to where it wasn't technically the same character, and then they just went on without the original character.
And they named it Bonnie Dravo.
That part I'm not sure. But yeah, I just remember when I was in college, my teacher was a friend of the original guy, and he said that it got taken for whatever reason.
We have the glass and we have this because Taco wants to change it
It's
again.
weird how all that stuff works.
So that's what we're gonna do.
Isn't
We're
there
gonna
something weird
change
with
it.
like? Oh, I almost completely forgot that there's a monster downstairs.
It's probably despawned by now.
Let me get my bow.
You should despawn it.
Oh, I'm a thwomp it.
Taco has the fall weather also hit you guys as hard as it hit us?
Oh my god!
I was not expecting it to be as cold as it was today. I was actually amazed.
Is it because of the hurricane?
I don't know. It was like, because for us, it was literally 100 degrees last Wednesday.
Yeah.
And then it was like, yeah, cold fronts are going to come in. 50 degrees. What?
Yeah. We were like at 77 in the middle of the afternoon. I was amazed. But I go, this doesn't last very long. It never does. We'll be back to melting soon.
Well, I mean, it is technically like officially fall.
Yeah, but that doesn't mean nothing here.
Oh, I guess maybe for Texas, I guess it might be. I mean, I'm not like against it. It's just it happens overnight, basically.
Yeah.
And it just like now when I go to work in the morning, I have to like have on a hoodie because it's so cold.
Yeah, I regretted not having a hoodie this morning.
Oh, Yeah, Ray told me, and I grabbed one off the couch. And I was like, okay, I'm good. Where are my arrows? This
Oh,
is like
Kiki.
Tucker, there's no monster down here. That's what you're.
Kiki, I just wanted you to know that I'm watching your stream again because I love the monkey.
I am glad you love your avatar. I will tell the artist how much you love it.
They are amazing.
I should change a couple of lines on it. Put it on my stream.
She will most likely be very happy because I know this is not her typical art style, so she worked really hard on it.
I would like to meet this person and give them a firm yet gentle handshake.
I don't know if you can meet them, but I can give you their Etsy if you want to check their.
Like an elbow bump nowadays.
Elbow bump. That's right. People don't like contact.
Yeah.
It's a weird transition because I was so used to always giving handshakes. Like you give a handshake, and you're like, yes, respect. And now everybody's like, oh, fist bump, and I go, oh, this is what I used to do to try to be cool. Now it's what people do to be safe. And all that stuff that I used to get, like, oh, you gotta be professional and polite. As you give a handshake, you don't do no fist bumps or he fives or nothing.
Why'd you take on a country accent while you're saying this?
Now everybody's like, oh no, if you don't get fist bumps, you being rude. You gotta think of the children. I don't know.
Who is not sleeping?
I don't think the children give a care less when they're out there roughhousing, playing out there.
Yeah, that's true.
Man, I really thought Flint and Steel will last a lot longer.
Sleep. This dog breath stinks.
I'm sorry, I was in the nether and I thought you guys were sleeping, and now I'm out the nether. Now I need to sleep.
Just came in the nether.
Oh, we literally must have went in and out at the perfect timing where Taco did not count as sleeping by himself.
I'm just sitting here in the dog zone. I'm like, God, everything. Yeah,
What have you been
Flint
eating?
fish.
Oh no.
Flint still terrible.
I think I'm gonna need to go on whenever we go back to the villagers, I think I'm gonna have to go on a giant unemployment arc.
Oh.
Is the gas still in here? Has nobody
Is it-
zeroed the gas?
Where is it? 'Cause I didn't see that at the beginning, at least.
Oh, it was like in the spot number 2 on the left.
Yeah, okay. I can hear him. I can't
Oh,
see
yeah.
nothing here. Yeah.
See, I can wake up early if needed. Okay,
Oh,
Cookie. Well, you
You
better
see
be
the
here
new-
tomorrow
the new,
then, cause tomorrow's when we're gonna be playing Fortnite.
like the
Well,
first row on the left.
Hold on. I walked right past it because I was looking for the gas.
You know,
Yeah, the gas.
it's gonna be so weird streaming an FPS game
And he was just like,
that actually requires concentration.
I'm like,
There we go. Everyone's gonna follow her in their
Okay, what
Fortnite
am I
hate.
looking for?
No,
Oh, the-
actually, everybody's gonna be
new rows.
asleep. So
oh, this is not the right way.
nobody's gonna be there to watch anyway.
You
So
said
is that
this
gonna
is
matter?
Oh, this thing.
Besides the
Oh,
few
so we're
innate
going down
people.
double wide.
Triple wide.
Are we going 2 on each side?
Oh,
one on each
I
side.
guess it doesn't count as
For now.
first person
Then we'll go all the way
shooter
down.
since it's technically
And then we'll
third
do
person.
2.
And a shooter game then. I forget, okay?
But we gotta add another one over here.
Yes.
I think I literally just call
brought a
every
bed.
shooter game FPS, even if it's in
did
third
you see all of the
person.
beds that are in the chest right before the nether?
Yes, I grabbed.
You made a lot of
couple
beds.
Yes. I
Oh,
used a lot of
you.
beds.
Did you need me to make more fire resistant potions? Because I surely have not.
I have 5.
Okay, you're good. You're good.
Yeah. I was gonna ask y'all, have y'all seen the new Netflix show, the Cyberpunk Edge Runner anime on
I
Netflix?
really want to.
I don't think so.
I
It
saw the
is-
trailer for it, and it looked like madness.
It is really good. It is a really good show. I was surprised by how good it was. I ended up watching it all Sunday morning. I
Is it-
finished
Is
the
it
whole
like
show.
is it like a regular core, or is it like 13 episodes or something?
10.
Okay, cool.
10.
And what is this anime again?
Cyberpunk 2077 Edge Runner.
Wait, is it the same as that game that came out that everybody complained about?
Yeah.
It is-
Well, no. So it's the same as the terribly made game that came out.
Yes.
But it's gotten better. So
Yeah.
so I'm gonna defend it a little bit because I
Okay, I'll say the unfinished game that came, and now it's more finished.
Yeah. And they pulled a No Man's Sky, but I think No Man's Sky recovered way better.
Oh, that's all.
So are they
But
done and moving on, or?
no, they're still doing updates. They just
Okay.
with the episode or with the show that came out, they released an Edge Runner update for the game.
Pretty good
haven't
show.
had
It's
a
a
chance to
side
play it,
story to the
but
game. Do I need to
I was
understand what the
playing it
game
for a
is
little
about to
while, and
enjoy
I
it?
kind of got sucked into the game to the point where I was kind of playing it for multiple hours a day, and I was having a good time. It's still a little glitchy, still like a lot things that they could fix, but I haven't played it since the new update. But it is a pretty fun game.
Okay. Did you get it on release?
I got it on release, yeah, and then I didn't play it for 2 years. And then
No,
Okay.
you don't.
It
Okay,
came out
yeah.
2020, so I didn't play it for like a
Maybe
year
I'll
and a
check it
half,
out. I
so
don't know.
bought it,
I mean,
and then I think I played maybe
Woo,
like
that's fine.
2 or 3 hours of it, and then I never had time to play it, and then I finally had some
See,
time.
it's
So
not
I'm
like
gonna try it
kind of
out.
like one of the
And
games I would probably
was
enjoy
pretty addicted
playing.
to it.
So I don't know.
So, well, you bought it. You didn't touch it at all.
I think I played it for 3 hours in the first week of launch.
Okay. Did you have
Yeah.
the same issues as everybody else?
I didn't have any issues for those 3 hours that I played, but
For the
That's
3
not
hours
to
that
say-
you played.
yeah, I'm gonna say it that way, so I'm not like, oh, I don't know what people are talking about. This game wasn't
Okay.
broken. No, in those 3 hours, I ran into no issues that I can remember. But
And then
uh-huh.
when you heard everybody else like saying it was bad, were you like, I didn't?
Nah, I took it. I took my experience and was like, this is an outlier, or I probably just didn't play the game long enough for something to happen. I
I
wasn't.
think I need food. Get food,
I
cat.
wasn't thinking that everybody was making
Make
stuff
sure
up.
you take.
because that's
You
very
need to
much
take
not the case.
adequate breaks while studying.
So.
It's very vital language and nudity, so
"Oh,
keep that in
nothing
mind.
wrong."
Rest. I don't know then about that. It's just not really my cup of tea. I probably won't watch it then.
Man, I don't.
I'm
wanna
also
be,
very picky on art styles.
facing fire, and then I turn around and there's
Hey,
a
did
gas,
you
like blocking
did you
my
watch
way out.
Spy Family? I can't remember. I know Mito did because we watched it together.
So, I'm trying to think. Is there a way we can?
There's a gas
Fire.
up.
Oh, okay. You were already marking them.
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
I was not shooting
Did-
little holes in there for the bed, so
Did you want to? I have 2 beds.
I can do it. I got potions.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
All your
Once-
bedding are belong to me.
So, yeah, okay, cool. So once you get netherite armor, the explosions only do 1 heart.
Unless you put blast protection on your armor. But blast protection is only really useful in certain situations.
I only have regular. Oh, I have blast protection on my golden boots, and then regular protection on my pants.
Yeah, I've seen Spy Family. See, the next
Regular
season
protection
comes out
Yeah.
October 1st, I'm
From
pretty
stains
sure.
and spills, you know.
And I can't wait, but Mito's so busy, and I don't.
legging.
and, like,
on my
We
chest
started it
plate,
together, and I
so
kind of
can't
don't
get
want like
shot in the chest with an arrow.
watch it without him, but at the
And
same
then
time,
fire protection
he's
on
so
my head.
busy with work. I don't know when we might be able to get to
Raindrops keep
watch it
falling on my
together.
head. But that doesn't mean my eyes will soon be turning red.
What?
Da, 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 da,
Are you singing?
da, da, da. I don't know what song that is, but I heard it on The Simpsons when I was a kid, and I've never forgotten that song. So, blame The Simpsons. I don't know what it is.
Okay.
Blame it on the Simpsons.
Blame it on the alcohol, baby, on the
But Taco only drinks like 3 glasses of alcohol. Where did I just blocked the alcohol, the lava. Where did it...
I don't know what you're talking about. There's not alcohol in the game.
Yet.
I'm surprised that there isn't. I'm surprised nobody's modded like, oh,
Oh, it's definitely.
It's
modded.
definitely modded in.
or somebody has come up with like a Microsoft Minecraft drink where it's just like dirt. And they're like, oh, it totally gets you drunk.
I don't know. It's definitely modded in one of these mod packs. I would not be surprised.
This lava can just go shove itself up somebody else's butt. I'm tired of dealing with it.
You're in literal hell. I'm pretty sure there's going to be lava there.
I'm in literal hell because I can't block up this lava. If it would just stop coming, I'd be okay with it.
And it don't stop coming, and it don't stop coming, and it don't stop coming, and it don't stop coming.
Every time I plug a
My
hole,
Hero
it just finds
Academia
another
in
way
October
around.
2.
What is it, liquid?
You know,
Jeez.
there was a time where I was binging My Hero Academia, and I had binged all 4 seasons in like a few weeks.
What happened to the? Oh, I'm such a.
And then I don't know. I think Mito was all like saying he wanted to rewatch it, so I was like, "Cool." Well, for some
I tried
reason
to
I had
activate
fell
the
out of
bed
it at that
instead of
point,
unlock
and
from
I
it and freaked
stopped
out.
binge watching it.
I thought the bed disappeared.
And so then I was going to like get back into it with Mito, but once again, that's
supposed to be
something we
an
can't do
earth-shattering
because he's
kaboom.
so busy. And it's
That's
so annoying.
that's a Martian,
It sucks that he's so
Marvin,
busy.
Marvin. I call him the Martian Manhunter.
I mean, I'm happy for like what he had and his success and stuff, but so annoying. Miss getting to play games with him when we're watching anime or
seen
doing the
Space
things that
Jam
we
2?
used to do.
It was hot garbage.
Really?
You thought it was garbage?
I really hated that movie.
I haven't seen it yet.
I
I
don't know
would say
why.
I liked it. I mean, it wasn't as good as the first one, but it still, in my opinion, wasn't hot garbage now.
I went back and rewatched the first one because I loved it as a kid.
Did you
And
watch it before the second one?
Yeah. I watched. I
Wait.
watched the original Space
No.
Jam in movie theaters.
Oh, no. Okay,
Yeah.
so you did watch the first one.
Yeah. I watched it as a kid a long time ago, and I really loved it.
I don't
as
know what a
kid. I
Pokeball
watched it
is, so
multiple
I'm the
times. I was like,
blue
"Oh,
one.
this movie's
That's
so
a
great."
cat.
Then I watched it as an adult.
You should just Google
Oh, this-
Pokeballs, because
So
there's
you
different
watched it
type of
recently?
Pokeballs.
Space Jam.
Yes.
Wait,
original.
the first one, or the original.
The original,
I watched like last year.
Okay, hold up. Let me look. I'm
Did
pretty
you
sure there's
watch
like
it
a few
recently
different blue
before
ones.
you
I'm
watched
pretty
the
sure.
second one, or after you watched the second?
Watched it recently before I watched the second one.
Okay. Yeah.
Okay.
I read it.
So where do you? I guess there's only 2. There's like the Great Ball
I
and then the
do that with
Dive
some
Ball.
Movies.
So do
but
you want me
I
to do
think it has
Great
to be a
Ball or
movie that's
Dive
not,
Ball?
Like, locked in as like
Those
a
2 are
theme.
blue.
Yeah.
Because if you do it that way, then the new movie has
Balls.
a lot
Yeah,
more to hold
balls.
up to.
Great Ball.
Like-
What is your
So-
favorite Pokemon type?
So
Okay.
I
Electric.
watched the first one.
That is my favorite.
Because I go, oh, it's Space Jam.
And
I love
it's
this movie.
totally
It's
not
gonna be
because I
great.
love
And then
Pikachu,
I
but
watched
electric
it and I
types
go,
are
oh,
my
Michael Jordan
favorite.
was a terrible actor.
Followed by fairy type
He
after
might
that
be,
because they're
like,
just
one
so
of
cute.
the greatest basketball player of all time, but like, you can tell that he was so bad. You can tell he was bad not because of his acting, but because they didn't give him a lot of lines. So anytime he was on screen, it was about one or two
Get rid of
sentences at a
that, get rid of
time.
that.
They didn't let him say much because. And yeah, okay, he's a basketball player. Of course, he's not expected to be a great actor, but I remember the big deal about
I'm
it
like
was, oh, it's
falling in
Michael
and out of
Jordan.
their
But it's really
conversation.
just a Looney Tunes movie with Michael Jordan interspliced in between the scenes.
Yeah.
But then even when I watched
Good or
it,
brain go
okay,
burr. I'm just gonna go
this
Bill
is
straight
definitely
line.
made for kids. So it's not like, oh, it sucks, nobody should watch it. I just, as an adult, I can't watch
I
it.
like the big sleepy one. That one's my best friend.
And then the
Snorlax.
blue one,
Snorlax, the Pokemon that got on everybody's nerve in like the first game.
That one I didn't
Because
like because
he
I felt
was
like it
fall
was just a movie
asleep
to
on the
feed,
main
LeBron
path, and you have to
James'
do
ego.
this roundabout thing to go and get the flute to wake him up to get him to move. Whoops! Well, thank you for the follow. Just sweet Mika. Welcome, welcome. I hope you're having a lovely Tuesday.
Came out for it, and I was like, oh, yeah.
Wee. Bitter brain go burr.
I haven't seen all.
And we just mining away.
Wait,
I don't
Kiki,
know.
What did you like about the movie? Because maybe I'm a cynical old fart.
Um,
I can admit it. I know I'm old.
I mean, like I said, I wouldn't say it was the best, but I mean, even though it wasn't like the greatest, it did bring back good memories of the first one. But, I think what the art style kind of what got me, what I didn't like about it. But I'm also like pretty simple to be easily entertained. So I don't know. I don't know if the question is like the best for me.
That sounds like I would like.
Cause
You
honestly,
should check it out.
I am a kid at heart, and 9 times out of 10, I prefer watching animated stuff over like action stuff, unless it has like funny actors in it or is like a funny thing.
There's like lava really close to the ceiling.
I agree with you, Kiki.
That's Signature that's talking.
I prefer
And
watching anime over
technically,
a lot of things.
well, I
So
mean, it's not just anime. It's like animated stuff in general. So like cartoon-ish things.
Yeah.
Or
yeah.
like
So,
the kids like movies and stuff like that.
I don't watch the kids movies that much, but I do like going back and watching like the I guess the cartoons that I grew up with. I love SpongeBob. I'll go back and watch SpongeBob all day.
Rockadoodle.
Taco, you're probably like
What is
26.
Rockadoodle?
You're not old.
You've
Taco is
never heard of
not.
Rockadoodle?
I've never
Taco
heard
is
of Rockadoodle.
not
Kiki,
26.
do you know Rockadoodle?
Rockadoodle?
Is that a movie? Is that the one where the rooster's like a rock and roll star or something?
Yes.
Rockadoodle. I think I would have to see a picture.
I can vaguely see it in my memory.
Isn't
me-
it like Don Bluth or something?
Rockadoodle. Let me go look at that real quickly. No, I've never seen this. I don't know what this is. This is before my time, I think.
Oh.
Let me see. When did it?
I keep forgetting.
This came out. This came out before I was even born, Taco. So that's why I've never heard of it or seen it. Because at first I was all like, oh, this looks like the goofy animated kind of art style. And then I looked at the picture. I'm like, I've never seen this in my life.
Sounds about right.
Have you seen Rockadoodle Signature?
I remember the movie, but I've never watched it. Cause didn't it come out around the same time as like
How old is Taco?
Land Before Time?
I was thinking like around the same time as All Dogs.
I don't know. I know All Dogs Go to Heaven now. I do know that one.
Yeah.
That was mid-90s, right?
I think so.
Yeah, that was Land
Taco is
Before
like
Time, not the
in
90s.
his. Taco is like in his 30s.
I don't know. It's like there's like this era before I became a teenager and was like,
Yeah, like All Dogs Go to Heaven and Land Before Times are.
Alright, man.
Yeah, Taco and Signature because they're best
Oh.
friends. And they both know each other IRL and live
did
basically
you bring
near each
Flame
other.
Steel? I forgot to make more.
I have some, but I am like probably 1,000 blocks down the path. As if you haven't told from the tunnel that I've been making. I'm just steam liming straight down.
Why, Lava? Why do you...
Oh, you're doing the
resist?
floor?
Yeah. Well,
Okay.
I'm just doing the fire part, but I figured I might as well just go ahead and just dig a straight line all the way down through everything.
She's just doing what needs to be done.
I don't have the
Wait.
Do it work the American way.
The fire with glass on top, right?
yeah, the 3-piece. That's all I'm doing, but I'm also
Okay.
helping by taking out the long strip that you need to also put the nether brick on.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I was just I wanted to.
Yeah,
emphasize
if
the
you
glass
go
on
down,
top
you'll
part.
see what I mean.
Well, I just wanted to emphasize the glass on top part.
Just fire. Have you wanted me? You just wanted just fire. Okay, I'll remember that now.
Nah.
The American way.
Running down the hall and you just fall into a pit of fire.
Yeah.
Well, as Kiki keeps saying, it is a literal hell.
Cat is flabbergasted that you are older than me.
Huh?
Cat's flabbergasted that you're older than me.
Cat?
Yeah, my friend, the one that knows you by the guy who wears the taco on the dino onesie. She did not
Yeah,
realize
I'm
that you were older than me.
Yeah, like at least 10 years.
Yeah, Cat.
Same with, I think me and Signature are probably around the same age.
Yeah, I don't think we're too far off.
Oh, speaking of glass, I don't have any more.
I am 44.
Yeah, Cat. She is like freaking out because when you said you're old, Cat's like, oh, you're probably not old, you're probably like 26. I'm like, Cat, they're not 26.
Oh, I wish I was 26.
Oh my
Are you
god!
kidding me?
Yeah!
Oh my god!
Jesus, I get to do my 20s over again?
Yeah, do you know how good of shape I was in my 20s? Holy crap! I would love to go back to my 20s.
Oh my
He's
god.
like, I'm
I can
sorry,
eat
what is that?
Whataburger,
He's
not worry about
44.
I could
Signature
start
is
YouTube
44,
10
which
years
means
earlier?
Taco is
I didn't
around
have
the same
heartburn?
age.
Man,
I was off.
do you know how much I miss
haven't like personally
just
straight up
eating
just
food and
asked.
not worrying if I'm gonna die the rest of the afternoon? Holy crap, dude! Sounds amazing.
No joint pain?
I could sleep. I actually slept. Right? I didn't wake up and have to adjust myself like 12 times because that one spot of my neck just is broken beyond all repair. So I was like, oh no, I gotta go buy 8 different pillows because I don't know what mood my neck is gonna be in tonight.
Wake up and like, can't look left today. I guess I'll be.
That's exactly it. I was like, oh, I guess I'm turning right all day, just doing circles.
Cat said her mind is blown. I mean, Cookie's old too, but
idea how
Cookie's
big
not
I am.
as old as Taco and Signature. Oh wow! While I was steam liming down, I apparently mined over ancient debris, and I didn't
Oh.
even notice it because it just looked. I was literally like not even looking. I was like reading chat and just had my cursor at the right angle where I was just going straight down and not stopping.
That's how much. That's how much Kiki didn't believe we were old. She just
I didn't say. I knew Taco was older. I'm not gonna lie. I didn't realize you were that old, but
I'm
I
not
do know
44.
that you were older.
Why did I come up here?
Hmm.
Glass.
Flint steel.
Yes, and that too. Oh, this cat.
And also,
Cat.
you wanted to ride the horse.
Oh, foot to foot with the horse. No.
You don't need glass, Taco. You need nether brick. I am doing glass. Glass is my job. There's a lava in here.
Huh? The corners of the.
Oh, okay. I forgot you put corners in there.
Just give it a little bit more light. Just the tiniest smidgety widgety light.
I need to look at audio because for some odd reason I don't have any sound for any of the block. Like all of this has. Why am I not hearing nothing burn then?
All the flint I've been throwing away.
So weird.
Over the years.
Am I the baby
Yeah.
of this group right now?
What do we need Flint for? This thing sucks.
As in
No,
like
well,
right
but
now,
actually, like-
yes.
What are we gonna do with all this gravel? Throwing it into the.
TNT.
dumping it in the
It's
lava.
dynamite.
Kiki does have a point. It is dynamite.
But like, yeah. And so right now, as in like all of us right here, yeah, you are the youngest.
And I have a crafting table downstairs, so I can. There we go. Gravel. Throw it away.
Get out of here.
I still hate
Nah.
gravel. I only
See, on the internet, you don't really know unless people tell you.
gravel has to prove to me.
That's why
It's worth
when
it.
Yeah.
Olivia was talking about
Prove to
one
me
time
you're not
about
just annoying.
finding it weird to have friends that are like 10 years younger than you and stuff like that. I don't find it weird at all because online you don't usually
You ever
ask
been,
people.
like, running and hopping.
I mean, you don't
see,
usually
like,
ask
a
people what
jump
their
that
age
you
is.
make, and
You
try to
just,
time it,
if you get along
where
with
you,
them
like, hop
personality
right over
wise,
it.
then it doesn't really matter what their age is unless
Never
they're
miss
like
it.
technically
It never
doing
works out for me.
immature
I
stuff.
land right into the like corner.
Yeah, that's usually how it works.
So I don't really find it
You never
weird.
do the thing that you want to do.
And so knowing Taco and him literally being almost 20 years older than me, I don't really care.
Like if you want it to.
We
like,
just mesh together really well when we stream, and I enjoy
The
that.
universe knows.
Yeah.
Taco sounds. Kat says Taco sounds young, but Signature sounds like her age. So Kat still flabbergasted about your age. She still does it.
Cat's not. Wait. Oh, hit signature sounds like his signature's age.
No, Signature sounds like Kat's age. Kat's 25, and
sound
she's
like I'm
just saying
25?
that Taco just sounds young in general.
It sound like I'm 25? Oh, that is a compliment. I will take it. Even if it's not meant as a compliment, I'm taking it as a compliment.
I'm pretty sure that's supposed to be a compliment.
Oh, Jesus. I forgot that I never capped off that one fire.
And you talking about me? I haven't added the fire at least, but there are just a whole bunch of holes in the path.
She didn't add the fire.
It was
was
always
always
burning
burning.
as the world was turning.
Oh, that's a song?
Yeah, well, it's we didn't start the fire.
Fire.
It was always burning as the world was turning. We didn't start the fire. Yeah.
Yeah.
I've only heard that on the Game Grumps, and they're playing a game with food, and he said we didn't start the sandwich; it was ham.
It was ham. What? That's not even close to the song.
I mean, it had the rhythm going, but yeah.
It just wouldn't sound
Oh,
like he was
ads
talking
about to
about
start
not
soon
making
if
a
you're
ham
not
sandwich.
subbed. I'm not really doing much of anything anyway,
Right.
so I just want a heads
I
up.
was like, that's a
If-
corny
if-
joke. And
if
then
you
y'all
have-
started, and then it kept going. And I'm like, wait a minute.
Yeah.
That's an actual song. There is, so in one of the little areas, there's just like a one block of lava. I think it's a source block of lava. So if you would like a bucket of lava, there you go. You'll see it. It'll stand out. It looks weird.
Okay.
We didn't start the fire.
It was always burning since the world was turning.
We didn't start the sandwich.
No,
Taco and it's off brand over here.
it was all baloney.
Balagana.
Some
Bologna.
pepperoni.
Yay!
You know, I find it really funny when people talk about how people get mad about how certain words are spelled and how they technically sound when you say them.
Oh yeah.
First of all, like the main one being baloney.
Bologna. Yeah.
Yes. Baloney, and then there's
What?
Wednesday.
And it's weird because it's like if
Wednesday.
if Bologna is bologna, then it should be called Lazzoni.
No, don't you remember that little Wayne line? A G is always silent like baloney. Yeah, we know.
That's a saying.
He actually says it like lasagna. A G is silent. G is always silent like lasagna. But it works for baloney.
Wait, there's G inside of lasagna. What?
There's a G in lasagna and it's silent. You don't say lasagna, you say lasagna.
Oh my
Lasagna.
gosh, I have not realized. Oh, also, I'm really bad at spelling, but I think that also just comes up. I'm also bad at pronouncing words too, but I did not realize that there was a G in lasagna.
The more you know.
Yep.
Would you like some lasagna on your
Son, what? Dude, can you imagine lasagna made with just bologna instead of ground beef?
You know what?
I don't know.
How can we make this good?
How can we make it good? Instead of adding like little noodle layers for the like you would do with lasagna, you add you add bread. So just make it a bologna sandwich but with layers.
Wait, so are y'all saying you don't
Americans-
like lasagna?
Oh, I love lasagna.
Oh, okay,
Man, I will make myself sick. Like, I've almost done it multiple
Wait.
times.
Do you cook the bologna first? You just slap it on the pan and then add it to some bread? Or do
Oh,
you make
yo, you have to pan fry the bologna.
Okay, yeah. Bologna tastes good when it's cooked. I don't care what anybody says.
Yes.
Pan fry that bad boy? Oof.
You ever got like the deli from the deli section bologna?
No, I didn't know you could.
Yeah. It
No.
basically tastes about the same, but you feel better.
Costs more.
'cause-
Cat,
but
you've
it's-
never had fried bologna?
Whoa.
If you ever come over here, Kiki, you gotta bring Cat, and if we ever go over there, we gotta make Cat sandwiches.
Oh, trust me. Me and my friend group, we're trying to coach your cat. So, fried bologna will be on that list now of coaching cat.
I'm worried. If she's never tried bologna, what
Mayo?
else has she not tried?
Well, like hot bologna, right?
I
Or
don't
not
know.
bologna at all.
I mean, it doesn't have to be like. You mean like spicy bologna?
No, like Like if you don't cook the bologna, it's cold, but like it's cold cut.
It's a code cut. It's a code cut. It's a code cut. Woo! Oh, have you not seen that Super Bowl commercial? It is literally my favorite Super Bowl commercial besides the one with the dog wearing the sneakers.
Was that dog wearing sneakers?
When
Oh.
was that one?
I'm gonna have to find that Super Bowl commercial now. It happens. It always happens around Super Bowl time. It's just, I don't know. I just find it so funny in my opinion.
I just remember it's a tie dye.
Those, I hated those. I feel like Super Bowl commercials have just gotten worse over the years.
I mean, you're not wrong.
I am mad that they're making the Super Bowl harder to watch if you don't have cable.
Yeah.
Because I think last year I just gave up because they're like, you can watch it here, and I'm like, I go there and they're like, after you.
I had the
like,
regular
okay,
one
cool.
because I work in that.
Who's your cable provider? And I'm like,
You have to have fried one
no,
to get it. It's
I'm here because
so
I
good.
don't have a cable. You're like, oh. Looks
It's
like you
like-
missed the. It looks like you missed the coin toss, and I'm like, come on. What happened? I'm like, last year I was able to watch it without having to have cable, and they're like, oh, okay, well now it's on Peacock. And I'm like, what's Peacock? They're like, it's free. And I'm like, okay. And then I go
But
over
it's
there.
not
and
really.
Not for free for you.
Oh!
oh no!
God dang it. I was
Oh.
not paying attention to my potion and fell in the lava.
Oh.
But I managed to die above it, so all of my stuff probably still fell in the lava.
I'm like, okay, above it, and then you're like, oh no.
Should I leave so your timer and then?
No, no.
I'm running. I'm not that far from the entrance.
Okay.
I thought you
Plus-
said. I thought you said you died above it.
I got out of the lava just in time to die.
And then got out of lava this time to like explode all your parts back into the lava.
Yeah,
survived.
that's what I was
Man,
thinking.
I had one block of ancient debris. I blew up like 80 rooms. I got one block.
Oh
and then
no!
Just to die in the most pathetic way.
Oh, I still have the 16 on me. I didn't know where to put it.
You have 16?
Yeah, I got 16 just for mining this tunnel.
Oh my god, you are on the roll because I have been blowing up rooms and finding bupkis.
Well, I can't check because I forgot. Well, I don't forget. Bedrock just doesn't have a way of checking this. I was seeing, was this a chunk border? Because they say that you should do your tunnels on the chunk border because you're more likely to find more. But there's no way to check that in Bedrock.
There's a texture that I could turn on.
For chunk borders?
Yeah.
It didn't die!
Hey, nice.
Congrats.
Yeah,
I feel
somebody.
like my luck is starting to turn around.
Turn around.
Everywhere.
The lava and lost all my stuff, but I got it all back.
Turn around. Turn back around.
Turn the car around.
Are we there yet?
Quit asking that question. Turn, or I'll turn around.
We're not getting McDonald's now because we just stopped at the gas station. That didn't rhyme, but.
Turn around.
Drip knows exactly what I'm talking about.
So, when we had that one question,
Which question?
the condiment versus sauce.
Sauce.
Oh, yeah.
When I put it in there, I thought of another question, and I had Ray because I was driving. I had Ray put it into the project, and she searched stream questions and pulled it up, and then I went into another project with the word questions in it, and it wasn't there. And I'm like, what do you mean? She's like, yeah, there's one called stream questions. And then I went back, and I was like, oh, back in 2014 when we started doing the questions, I went to 2 websites and found like 100 questions each,
Oh
and
wow.
created a project and put all the questions in there. And then just immediately forgot about it. And like
Oh my gosh,
and
Kat.
found like the questions that we were doing before.
Took my hair down because I get my hair done Thursday.
So
If you haven't saw from my B-reel,
I don't know.
you can't see any of the background
but
because my hair literally is that poofy that it literally took up the whole screen around my head.
like, there's a new update. Do you want to update?
Oh my god, it was so
Picture
funny. I
face,
took
huh?
that picture and I looked at it, I was like,
There we go.
my hair takes up
What is the difference
everything.
between cobbler and pie?
Oh,
Is
I
it?
do not.
Oh, that's easy. Isn't a cobbler the like baked stuff that has like a top crust, but like it's like the crumbly crust, where like a pie has a whole like bottom and top shell?
Is that it? Is that actually it?
Oh,
Well,
so
that's how I would think of it.
so cobbler doesn't have a bottom
No,
crust?
no, cobblers don't have a bottom crust. They only have like the top crust, and it's usually like crumbly, or it has like the pie shell kind of top crust. Because I know, because my mom loves peach cobbler, but she only likes to eat the crust.
What?
Well, she likes
doesn't eat
peach.
peaches?
She likes the peaches, but she's more of a crust person. You know, like
She likes the peach, but it's secondary in the peach cobbler.
yes. You know, like there's just like some people who like a certain dish, but they like maybe a certain part of a dish better. Like a cake with icing. Like sometimes people save the icing for last because that's like their favorite part or something like that. Or some people don't because they find it too sweet.
I couldn't
get you.
save it all to the end. Like a big scoop of icing. I don't think I could do that anymore.
Or like they would prefer like the corner
10
piece
years
because
ago,
it
that
has
would've been
more
great.
icing. So yeah,
think-
so that's what my mom thinks about of like cobbler and stuff.
That's fair.
Okay.
That's fair.
Let's see what Google. I wish Cortana was not covered
cat?
up. No, I wish no.
What are you
So,
going to do? Yay,
would-
we love
before- like, one would-
grownies.
Every now and then
I don't know.
bring
I
Cortana
told my
into the stream
hairstylist that I
and
was going out of town,
have her
and so she,
something or
I know
say-
it's
and I
supposed
don't
to be
think she
like
does that
thinking
anymore.
of styles that
Um, they keep
I could do.
messing- They keep moving her around.
I don't
to
usually
different
ever
apps
come
and
up with
changing
style
stuff.
for whatever I
Ooh,
want to do to my
Microsoft
hair. I
Yeah,
usually
I'm
just
like,
leave it
was
up to my
great
hairstylist.
before. And they're like, we've decided
Because
not
she's
to
just
repeat
amazing
that.
like that.
Like,
And I've just gotten to the point like
Microsoft.
every time
you
I
were the
think
company
of
that in the
something that I
90s
want,
you would
and I
bully
ask
smaller
her, it's
companies
not
into
something
nothing,
she
take
like
all of their ideas
is either
and leave
A,
them bankrupt.
confident in
And now you
doing,
don't wanna compete with
or
Amazon.
isn't like something that she's used to
Microsoft's
doing.
like with-
changed.
And I don't want to like force her to do something she's not used to doing
Like, they start something
or doesn't feel confident
and they
doing.
start something late or way too early.
So I
And then
just
they're like,
let
it's
her
not making any more money.
pick
It's not making enough money. Kill it.
whatever she feel
So,
like, or if
like
I know
Mixer,
sometimes
they started
because
that
of
late,
how my
and then they're like,
specific hair
it's not
type
working.
is,
They just gave it to
she doesn't
Facebook,
have
and
many
Facebook
clients
dropped it
like
broke
that,
it,
and
now it's
so
all done.
because how it
It's done.
acts and stuff, she sometimes wants to try out
but-
new styles on my hair. So I just let her do whatever usually.
Facebook, you
Yeah.
haven't changed. You've always sucked.
But yeah, Cortana was cool. Like in the early days of the stream, like asking her questions and stuff like that. But now I have to ask Google because Cortana's buried under a bunch of stuff. One
We
day.
didn't kill Cortana. She was just
It was
buried
always
under the.
dead.
She was just buried under some stuff Taco left.
We didn't kill Cortana.
It was Microsoft.
I mean, I wasn't going to say it, but your words, not mine.
I'll say it. Microsoft, you killed everything. You killed joy. You are where
You
happiness
killed
goes
the
to die.
Zune. How dare you?
You killed
killed the
Minecraft, because that's where it's on the road to.
No, it's good.
Yeah, it's totally good with the chat filter and getting rid of freedom of speech and not letting, everybody just be able to control that how they want to control that. But taking it away on private servers, yeah, that's really a good thing.
Oh, I didn't know they did that.
Kiki,
Microsoft, that was bad.
Kiki's onto something. Kiki's onto something.
But yeah. Okay, Google. What is the difference between a pie and a cobbler?
Or the bottom of your cakes,
I'm gonna make
yeah.
cheese, watch.
According
Say
to South
something,
Carolina tourism, while a pie is made with a bottom crust and often a top crust, the dough and the fruit filling cook together in a cobbler. Peach cobbler is best served warm with a vanilla ice cream on top, but it's also delicious cold.
That was somebody's opinion.
The ending, yes, but I guess I
Yes.
was certainly right about pie has a
Yes.
top and bottom shell, whereas a copper does not.
Okay, I could have. So we
dropping
went
knowledge.
to. So we went to. I might end up asking echo questions too. Once I get it all set up again. Cause I don't want to use Google.
I'm glad I just have headphones on, or else my Google would have picked it up and
Yeah.
did the same thing.
Yeah, that's why. Well, that's another like subconsciously, I don't like doing the same thing everybody else is doing. So it's like I'm a lean full into Cortana until Microsoft kills it off completely, or
That
it's
lasted
like
10 minutes.
well, we did like 200 episodes with Cortana, and then instead of using the
cookies
Amazon
worked wonders for me
assistant,
this
using
weekend,
the
and
name
Zach
that
says
everybody
Heidi
else is
approves of
using,
them, and he
use the
doesn't like a
secondary,
lot of sweets. Oh,
which is
I'm so
Echo.
happy!
So I don't set off
I'm
everybody's
glad.
lights, or the few people
I'm
who
so
are like,
happy that the
changing names to
cookies
Echo.
helped.
And I'm like, sorry, 7 people out there who are like me, like. So
Really like Echo the Dolphin back on Sega.
Because I was like, I should make Kat something, but then I remembered I literally just made you those cookies, so I was all like, hopefully those cookies come in handy for
You're
her.
asking the real questions now. Cortana, figure this out for us.
Wait, what was the question?
you put a name tag on a dolphin?
You said a dolphin or a donkey?
Dolphin.
Yes.
Ooh.
You can put a name tag on anything.
We need to name a dolphin Echo.
Oh, making my life's work.
We have to find. Well,
We gotta catch it, force it to live in captivity just for our enjoyment. So we can be like, hey, look, that's Echo.
No.
I mean, we do have that holding tank in Taco's storage system, but I'm pretty sure the dolphin would jump out because the dolphin has to have air, but
How would we even grab a dolphin to transport it?
you can put a lead on a dolphin.
Really?
Yeah, you haven't seen the fastest way to travel and always have like dolphin grace and stuff like that?
No.
That
I
seems
forgot
like
I'm the only
torture.
one, that grinds Minecraft content like that.
I don't watch Minecraft
anymore.
videos.
Anymore. I used to be all on the YouTube, looking at all the.
Well, like just like
News and
mechanics
all
and stuff. It was like, it's like earlier I realized I was like, I think I have too much Minecraft knowledge because I was watching this new streamer that I've never seen, and he found frogs. He was like, I'm just sitting here watching him try to put a frog in a bucket. I'm like, oh my, I'm cringing because I'm like, does he not know you can't put a frog in a bucket? And I'm like,
I would've thought you could do that.
and I'm just like, I'm just lurking because I didn't want to chat, but I'm like, I can't sit here and watch this guy keep trying to put this frog in a bucket anymore. So then I was like, dude, you can't put it in the bucket. He's like, well, how am I supposed to get it back? I'm like, you got to have a lead. And I was like, he's like, oh, I don't want to go back and get a lead. I was like, okay, well, then you need to breed 2 frogs. And I'm like, he's like, how do you breed the frogs? I'm like, okay, I can understand that part because that like is new knowledge because of like them being
give it-
introduced.
Give
But
it a bee or something.
He's
no,
sassy.
you give them slime balls.
Oh, the little. Never mind.
Yeah, so you give them slime balls, and then they go and they lay eggs. Well, after the guy like gave them the
Zombie
slime
goose
ball.
stomps on it.
No, they don't do that. Luckily,
what?
zombies don't like turtle eggs. So if turtles lay eggs somewhere and there are zombies, zombies will pathfind to the eggs and crush them.
Are you serious?
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, now it is my life's work to kill zombies.
But
No one shall
yeah.
harm the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles before the introduction of the ooze.
But yeah, I literally I was lurking the whole entire time because I was like, I turn on streams when I'm mid about to take a nap, and so I couldn't really take a nap because I was walking this guy through on how to get a frog. And in the end, he didn't get a frog. He just got the tadpoles. He was like, okay, now what do I do with the tadpoles? I'm like, you take the tadpoles to the biome that you want the colored frog from and wait.
Is there, I'm sorry. Well, actually, go ahead. I'll ask the question later.
I was just saying, and wait. And that was like after he had already took forever to figure out that the frogs needed water to lay the eggs, then had to wait 15 minutes for the eggs to even hatch into the tadpoles, and then finally after getting that, then was all like not waiting anymore, but he did take the tadpoles at least. I am done now.
The student has become the master.
I
You
don't
are
know
now the
about that
master,
one.
Kiki.
I thought I was always the master when I was the one telling him what to do.
I don't know anything about Minecraft. I just go and I try to build stuff, and then I stop halfway through and go do something else.
What was your question though? There's
Oh,
nothing wrong with that.
The axolotls, are they in this version or are they only in Java?
They're in this version.
Yeah, I think everything they're trying to make everything parody. So if one thing's in one, they're put it in another. It's all vanilla stuff.
I think axolotls only spawn in lush caves now. So we would have to go and find a lush cave.
I found an axolotl in one of my other servers, and I accidentally killed it, and then I felt bad.
No.
I think I found like a blue one.
Wait. Oh, you have to feel. Wait. What you mean blue? Blue? Like not
Yeah.
cyan blue. Blue. Blue.
I didn't know there was a difference.
No, there's a difference because the white cyan is what it's technically is, but it has blue in it. And then there's like a actual blue, but almost looks like purple.
Okay, then it's probably the cyan one.
Okay, that's good. Well, I mean, it's not good, but it's
good?
better.
That's good.
It's not good, but it's better because if you killed like the blue one, you just killed the rarest one out of all the axolotls because you literally have to breed axolotls to get the blue one, and it is extremely rare.
I messed up because I blocked the water and I didn't realize it, so when I went back, they were gone.
Oh yeah, they're also like dolphins. They need water and air.
Sorry, axolotl. I didn't mean to do it.
But yeah, don't.
What I've done.
Yeah. The only reason why we haven't seen like a lot of new stuff in Tacos World is because a lot of things are based off of either new generated areas, and so we have to go to newly generated chunks to find the new stuff.
Oh,
And when I was
this
playing
guy has
solo,
an eye patch. I'm sorry. There's a villager and he has an eye patch, and it's my first time seeing.
is he in the house?
He is in the house.
Oh my god.
This is your first job signature as trying to train to be on HR. You gotta fire him.
But he's got an eye patch.
You gotta fire him. We don't need an eye patch guy in the house.
We need people. Never mind.
We don't even need anybody in the house. There's no rooms in the house.
But Kurt Russell wore an eye patch when he was
We can't.
Snake Plissken.
I know how much you might want to keep him, but we don't have the funding for a guy in the house. He has to go.
What if I name him Kurt Russell, and
Then it's just gonna feel worse when I get back and fire him myself for you.
okay. I'm sorry, not Kurt Russell. I really appreciate the eye patch.
Don't
this
worry.
one's
I
hard.
know it's your very first time firing somebody and it hurts, but don't worry, you'll get used to it.
If he didn't have an eye patch, this would be easy. It's the eye patch that makes it difficult. That's really all it is. It's the eye patch.
Don't worry, it gets easier over time.
Okay. Hooah!
The only time you have to be careful is when they bring their bodyguards.
Oh no! But people with eye patches usually have bodyguards because they're tough. And
Why would they need a
have
bodyguard if they're tough then?
crew. Because they roll with crews because that's how tough they are.
Think of him as an evil pirate. He's not good.
What? But One Piece has taught me pirates are good.
He's not good. He's evil.
Oh. I'm sorry, Monkey D. Luffy, you are evil.
And if I can't get a bed in the house, then he's totally not about to get a bed in the house. So he gotta go.
Oh, he's gone. He's gone.
I'm so proud of you.
He's
Take
been
this,
fired. What happened?
The
What you
left
need?
side. The left side is messed up.
Oh, I wasted so many. I didn't waste a lot of time. What happened?
Is one block too far.
Okay, that's no biggie. I have 12 stacks of netherrack.
Oh, I could use that.
Yeah, no, that was.
Oh, did you need netherrack? 'Cause I've just been burning all my netherrack from my tunnel.
Yeah.
Tiger, you have to know. You know how long this tunnel is and how fast my inventory has just been filled up from netherrack from how far I've been going down? I can't carry it all.
He didn't turn around. That's why she threw away the netherrack.
You know how many times I would have to turn around?
Turn around. Not right now. Just throw it all away as you go.
Oh, well, I mean, I'll give you what I have now because I'm literally almost back to the entrance
Okay.
after
She's
going all
almost
the way
back
down.
to the entrance.
Yeah, I'm literally right back where the glass ends.
Yeah, I'm definitely gonna use most of it.
Sadly, I don't have as much as I usually would have.
Like
But
gonna
I've done like
use it all.
90, I've done like 50% of the work for you.
And he needs it more than ever. It sure is.
Where are you, Taco?
First row left.
Oh my gosh, you're all the way down there?
Yeah. Huh? Oh. Who is this? Oh, hello, signature.
Look, I know I'm ugly, but dang. That's not even my real face.
What? You mean we've been looking at a lie?
Looking at a lie.
Shaking you're half naked.
But I'm wearing all natural clothing.
Are you wearing gold boots?
Oh, I thought you meant my monkey form.
No, I really was meaning as in you're in the nether with just pants on.
That's how I like to work.
Oh, did you lose your armor?
Taco, he fell in lava.
Oh.
To be fair, most of it was gone because I also had been blowing up beds after beds after bed. That's why only the legs have survived because it's the only thing that has protection.
How much do we need to deck him out?
It's fine. It's fine. It's only the nether. It's fine.
Let's see.
Don't travel down the path because I'm not putting glass down yet, but there will be open fire. You have
See,
been,
that's what I was talking about.
Hey, I'm going to put the glass down, but it's going to slow me down if I have to do fire then glass. If I just can't just keep running.
You have to clear first, then rebuild.
It's not about how fast it.
Taco, you just don't know me then.
Doesn't matter whether you win by an inch or a mile. Winning is winning.
Oh, I should.
And it's not fast, it's just efficient. Oh,
Hey,
that broke.
signature, do you have space in your inventory?
Yes. What you need?
Uh,
Oh no, I'm
I,
missing it all. Now.
let's see, what do I not? I have some nether quartz that I don't need.
That's
But
it this way.
want.
Okay.
Oh, what?
And yeah, and then and I was like, and there's a pile of netherrack that I wanted to pick up. um,
You gotta fix the hole.
yeah.
Dig a
Wait.
hole. Dig a hole. Dig a hole.
Dig a
Ah,
tunnel, dig a tunnel. Dig a tunnel, never did a nana. Dig a tunnel, dig a tunnel. Wait before the hyena comes.
There we go.
Did anybody else watch Ed, and Eddie?
Yes.
Yes.
Love that show.
Edda and Eddie made me obsessed with Jawbreakers because of how they looked in the TV show, but
They
IRL
made 'em look
Jawbreakers.
so good.
Yes, but IRL Jawbreakers suck.
They do suck.
They break your jaw, and you're like, ow.
They really do. Like they live up to the name. It does hurt if you try to bite them.
I think I was more upset that they weren't the same size.
Oh, there are some that are that big.
Now,
Pretty
but
big
as a
ones.
kid, there wasn't.
Then, when they're like, Ed, Nettie. Yeah, something
Yes.
like that.
See, I
Okay.
hadn't done that much work.
Cool. Alright.
We did it, guys.
We did it. Saying we did it reminds me of Human Fall Flat.
Did you guys watch Kids Next Door?
Yes, I sure did.
yeah!
I was always mad that number 3 was treated like a punching bag. I was like, number 3's the coolest, but he never got his due.
Mm-mm.
Is it like Krillin?
Like Krillin.
Krillin is my favorite.
Is it because
Um,
he has no nose?
It was because during the Namek saga, he was the strongest. Well, he's still currently the strongest human, right?
Yeah, because Tien Shinhan, despite all his training, has never gotten stronger.
Yeah.
And then
but
it just makes me feel bad for Tien.
yeah. Basically, what was it? The Namek saga was like the height of Krillin.
That's very true.
The Destructo
Ed and Eddie literally were my favorite.
Gohan with
Um,
mushroom haircut.
I think
Oh yeah.
Ed and Eddie was something I
That
loved to
duo
watch,
was like,
but I think my favorite was Kids
Them
Next
almost
Door,
kicking Goldo's butt until they
a
realized
pup
they
named
could stop time.
Scooby Doo, and Baby
But they
Looney
were just,
Tunes.
like,
Those were my
making 'em
favorite to
until
watch
that
when I
point.
was younger.
And then having to hold their own against Frieza until Goku could heal.
And like number 5 was like my favorite from Kids Next Door.
Getting blown
Uh,
up.
I know.
Not-
I was like, "Is
well,
got
it
blown
was
up?"
probably more
I
because
was
of her
so
also being,
upset. I was probably more
black,
upset
but you
than
know.
Goku
I just also liked her in general.
because
I can't really relate
always
much on the
has-
Dragon Ball Z
my favorite
aspect
character
because
always dies.
I only really watched
And
it because my dad liked it,
I
but I
hate-
wasn't like the
I
biggest
hate it
fan of Dragon Ball
because
Z.
I could never have a favorite character because they're just gonna end up dying. I don't know what it is.
Isn't that natural for anime though? Oh, you like this character? Yeah, we're gonna kill him off in season 2.
It depends what anime you're watching. It doesn't happen in Pokemon.
Have y'all?
Wow.
Ash just releases them or never uses them ever again.
Ash has died 2 times in Pokemon.
Well, he should have died.
He has died twice, but he's came back.
When did he die?
He died in, what is that, the very
Oh, wait,
first one in
Mewtwo?
Pokemon 2000? Yeah, the Mewtwo
Mewtwo
one.
Strikes Back?
Yes.
He did die. You're
He died in
absolutely
that
right.
one, and then apparently, I don't know what movie this is, because it's like, I don't watch Pokemon no more because I stopped watching it after the art style changed, because I was not a
Yeah.
fan of the art style.
What the in Alola when they went to Alola and they changed
Yeah,
it?
that's when I fell off Pokemon. Like I still love it, but I can't watch it because the art style makes me think they're all like he's growing up. I'm like, yeah, but you just made him look like he's a 6-year-old traveling now. Like it looks like instead of making him look like he's grown up, it looks like you dumbed it down for kids.
He reverted.
Yeah, but he apparently died in one of the most recent ones because I know it's like all over TikTok.
Really?
Yeah, I don't know if it's like the most recent series or the most recent Pokemon movie, but I think it might be the most recent Pokemon movie.
I thought I watched the most recent Pokemon.
I
I gotta go
wanted
back and watch them.
I wanted to get into Pokemon. Like I was very very close to getting into Pokemon because we did that one podcast episode, and you were in its signature, and I think Pokemon had come up.
And then
Pokemon
that's
Go.
a Raven and Kim
I can't
Possible.
remember what series
Oh,
it was.
those are good
I
too.
think we were talking
There was
about
also Lilo
Pokemon
and
Go.
Stitch. I loved Lilo and
Yeah, so
Stitch.
Pokemon Go had just recently come out, and also there was a series that was coming out, and nobody had it available for streaming, so I wasn't able to watch it.
It's never too
See,
late. It's never too late, Taco.
I mean, I don't know. I think Pokemon is kind of like One Piece. I don't think it has as many episodes as One Piece, but it's eventually going to be like there's going to be a point where you're not going to be able to keep up with how much is coming out.
That's actually a good point. I've never considered that, but the Pokemon anime started before One Piece.
Yeah,
So isn't it been running longer than One Piece? So isn't it technically the longest running anime?
I don't
It,
think
I,
it's
I don't know.
prolific like One Piece is. I think it's like it'll come out and then there won't be any for a while, and then it'll come out again, right?
No, it's
No,
been,
it's been
it's been
continuous.
pretty consistent. Yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
Here,
Uh,
actually, let me look, cause now I'm wondering.
well, I was just curious in that one season because I had watched the
You
show.
can't just start in one season. You have to start at the beginning to understand it.
No,
to be fair, they're not as good as the first one because with
no.
like the Indigo League came out, I felt like a genuine anime, right? Where it had jokes and they made fun of things, and then it had a story and things happened. You're like, oh, that's a pretty okay anime to watch. But then, as the game became popular and they started seeing with the audience that was picking up the game, they turned it into like a kids anime. And then they're like, oh, it's the power of friendship and nothing bad ever happens to us. And darn you, Team Rocket. So then it stopped being as enjoyable.
I have the
No.
answer to that
Let's see.
question. It is considered like has the most amount of episodes. It has 1,213 episodes, where One Piece
Ooh.
only has 1,034 episodes.
Ooh.
Only 1,034.
Yes.
Yeah.
So basically, you can compare Pokemon to One Piece and
One Piece is longer than that. One Piece is like at I think they're close to 1,070 at this point.
it could have been updated, but that's what it was showing when I asked how many episodes were in Pokemon, and then it just had like below it just had like episodes of like other anime, and One Piece was like that's what it said for One Piece.
Yeah.
So I don't know when that last was updated though.
But also, Pokemon just came out with the new series too. So
Yeah.
Well, I was just gonna dip my toe into that one season
Nah.
to see.
You gotta watch it from the start.
So, if we could get our hands on Pokemon, did y'all want to do a backlog? Is what I
You
call it?
want to do a backlog of all 20
Come on.
seasons of Pokemon
that's like going. Do you want to do a backlog of Sesame Street?
or One Piece? You might as well just say
Or
One
One
Piece at
Piece.
this time.
So, I'm approaching it as we do a season as we can. If it takes us 2 years to get through 2 seasons, then fine.
Okay.
I'm not like we got to get through all 20 seasons this year. Like, no.
I will
Kind of a
do
late
it.
start for that.
I will do it up until the art style changed. I'm
But
sorry.
it
I just
changes.
When
It
does it
changes
change?
back. In Alola. So that's Gen 7. But it changes back. So for Sword and Shield, it goes back to that non-cartoony one.
What? It did?
Yeah, so I think after Alola, Netflix took over. So
Mm-hmm.
now all of the new episodes come out on Netflix. And
Oh,
yeah,
did
the
it have the access to the old one?
some of the seasons. They have access to the Indigo League, the very first one. All of
Freaking
those.
licensing.
You know, here, let me
I
actually pull it
didn't
back up
know
so I
that
can
because
show you.
that's 100% the main reason why I stopped watching Pokemon is because of the art style. And then I was mad because I know when Brock and Misty left from
It's
like,
never the same.
yeah, but then they bring them back and I'm like, what do you mean? And I
Oh,
can't enjoy it because I don't like the art style.
in the new series, in the new series, Brock comes back. You know what?
See?
Actually, now that I'm looking at the Netflix one, the art style is not as good as the other one. It does maintain
Looks like
that
they
change.
made it for kids and not
Yeah,
the age it's been
he's
growing up with.
he's too
No,
round. He's too round.
Yeah.
no. I've always thought of Pokemon as a kid's show.
But it didn't start off that way. In the Indigo League, it feels like an actual anime. Where,
Yeah.
yeah,
There's nothing wrong with it being a kid's show.
no, there's something very wrong with it because the very first season was very entertaining because the jokes the jokes weren't kids jokes. They were, they were trying to appeal to an
Oh,
audience.
oh, I just thought of
Ah!
something
Ah!
afterwards.
Pigman! Pigman! Wait, which Pigman can I not kill? Can I kill one of these?
Is
Can
it
I kill that
coming to
guy?
attack you right now?
Yes, that
Yes,
guy.
you
Can
can
he
kill
die?
it. Yes.
You need
Oh,
gold.
but can I kill him?
Yes. If he is coming to attack him and you didn't hit him first, you can kill him.
Suck it.
Go get some gold boots.
But
But no, I have another thing to talk about after this.
Um,
go for it.
Oh, are we
I'm
done with the
trying to. I'm
Pokemon
trying.
topic?
Well, I'm trying to think.
Uh,
Like, as far. I guess if it like appealed to more of like like rated everyone instead of like.
How can you
yeah.
say talk? Do you not understand how many people like how big the Pokemon like fandom is in general?
I'm just talking about because we've talked like on the podcast we've talked about a bunch of different shows and some shows have been kid shows and I went in knowing that like and I'm like yeah I see it for what it is. So for me going into Pokemon I'm like what like I was expecting like a kids show. So if it ends up being a kids show I'm like okay yeah Pokemon's a kids show. But that's me not knowing the first season and I'm like I'm trying to like I don't know
Like in the
figure
in the
out.
in the first season, they had a in the Safari Zone episode, which they had to pull because stupid 4 kids and their stupid censorship. Ash gets a gun pulled on him, and Anne gets shot at because the guy thinks he's a poacher. So that's the kind of things that they used to do that they no longer do.
Yeah, because like when I looked up, it actually said there's only like 20. It's actually 1,209 episodes, but technically there's actually
Uh, uh, uh.
1,213 because of certain episodes having to be pulled because of stuff like that.
Yeah, the Porygon episode had to get pulled.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah,
Have,
Pokemon.
have,
I like the original, and they I love Pokemon, and I understand it. They're like, oh, this is usually the type of people that watch it as kids, but it was they started it off as a legitimate anime and then turned it into a kids anime.
Yeah,
okay.
because like
But
I
yeah,
wasn't
if we can.
against. Sorry, you can go.
Oh, I was like, if we can get access to the show, then we can put it on the backlog list.
Yeah. The first season is on Netflix. So here, um,
We have a console account, so
okay. Yeah, so it's the Indigo League is on there, and then Netflix when they took it over, it's called Pokemon Journeys, and then Journey Masters, And then the RCS Chronicles are the new one. Is the new season that just started. Oh, okay. I'm sorry.
Do they have like
Man,
numbers?
the episodes or the seasons?
The seasons.
No, they changed the name. So Journeys is the first one, and then I think it's Journey Master Journeys, and then Ultimate Journeys.
Yeah, you're
Oh no,
basically
that's
have
a
to.
new one.
You
Yeah,
basically
so
have to
I'm
look
curious.
it
I'm
up.
like, is it like season 1 and then season 15, 16, 17, and then we're like, okay, yeah, 15 seasons, or is it?
Yeah.
Maybe.
Is it like a bigger like
Watch
what's
the
the
TV show
gap?
Lilo and Stitch.
is what
What the
I'm
movie I was.
more-
You didn't
what
watch the
I'm
TV
trying
show
to
Lilo
get
and
to.
Stitch?
Okay. So
Oh, it
let me
was
start you
really
on this.
good. It was basically just them finding home for all
So the first,
all the
first, I guess,
experiments, which is
series
what I
arc
kind of
or-
really liked about it.
Darn it, it's not that started.
But yeah, go back to schoolwork. I just got done eating.
Move up.
Yeah, you got this.
Is 12 episodes.
Uh,
Jesus, how does this even work?
I really wish, like, I don't know if there's anywhere you can like watch this season now,
Yeah,
but
this is
I really
Journeys.
wish I could go back and watch like Lilo and
So
Stitch.
Journeys is 12 episodes, and then it goes into Master Journey.
Really, it was only 12 episodes. I don't know why. When I was younger, I felt like it was way longer than 12 episodes.
No. That's the Indigo League. That's
I mean, all the season. That doesn't even sound like the Indigo League should have even been just 12 episodes. In my opinion, it just felt like because it just
Yeah.
always kept going. Like the episodes just ran on forever.
no.
Yeah.
This is the Netflix produced ones.
Oh.
Yeah. The
Okay.
Indigo League goes down to 52 episodes.
There we go. That sounds more like it.
And then that's when it starts going into the Orange Islands.
Oh yeah.
Let me pull up my tool so we can.
I don't know, this still looks Executor Squad.
But,
Showdown at Dark City.
What I was just going to say was that I'm not against their whole reasoning of why they wanted to change art style, which was because they've had Ash like that for so many seasons and they wanted him to make it look like he's growing up and stuff. And I would have been okay if they actually, made him look like he
what
was
they did.
growing up. He does not look like he grew up.
No.
He looked like
looks
he
like-
de-aged.
He looks like he had a reverse evolution.
Yeah, like honestly, if they wanted to be kids, like a kid anime, they should have started with that art style, and then for growing up, change it to the art style that they started with.
I
But
feel like there's so many good studios they could have gone to, or so many different, like really awesome styles of anime and character designs that they could have picked from. That
Yeah.
it's weird that they went with something that is not that impressive.
basically,
I mean, it's Pokemon. They should be able to do some really dope anything, but
but alas,
I guess just like in their games, they always hold back.
yep.
Oh my god, it's been so long since I've done the podcast.
But yeah, just tell me when we're ready to move on to another topic, because I got this other thing that I saw.
I'm trying to. Okay, I found.
Yeah,
I've
I'm
gone
letting
through
you go.
This is my third tool that I'm using. 1 second.
Yeah, you got. I have it pulled up on my phone so I can elaborate. Because I saw this TikTok and I was like, I couldn't believe it.
I think he's coming prepared, so you know it's gonna be good.
Yeah, I am prepared.
Jesus Christ. Okay.
Okay, hold on. I'm gonna grab something to drink real quick, and then I want to talk about this.
Okay.
Also, I probably will die because I don't have gold. So just watch my dead body.
Taco, that's your job because I'm halfway down the path.
Oh, okay.
All right, BRB.
Yuki.
Cool. Oh. Like, I'm gonna go get him some gold boots. Come back and he's dead.
I mean, you can. Well, if you Here, I can bring back some gold nuggies. And you can
Encase
do...
him in netherite and then run.
No,
Oh
no.
yeah, we have a crafting table.
Yeah, I'm just mining some gold nuggies real quickly.
Okay, I'm back. What I miss?
Oh,
I was gonna encase you in netherite and then come get you some boots.
I was actually mining some gold nuggies, but I guess that's not needed because you didn't take as long as we thought you would.
I was just gonna come back and be like, why am I in all gold?
it's like I can't see it.
Nah, technically we could have just decked you out in all gold. And we just had like dispensers and everything and a button. We could have just stuck it right next to you and it would have, I'm pretty sure that would put it on you.
I would have been like Tony
Okay.
Stark.
This does not help because it doesn't lead into any. Okay, so it says Pokemon is 276 episodes.
Wait,
Which
season?
I'm assuming this is the first season.
Yeah, the first
That
season
sounds
I would
about
not
right.
be surprised, yeah.
And then what comes after the first season? Ah, Togepi! Togepi was my favorite. I don't know.
I don't feel bad. Pikachu is still my favorite even after 20 seasons.
Mewtwo.
Yeah, every tool that I went to it did not help. It was like Pokemon and everything else is an alternative. I'm like, no.
I think
What's
Hulu.
the
was it
order?
Either Hulu or Amazon had all of the seasons on there. Every single one, like Johto.
Oh my
Johto,
gosh, Johto had like the
Hoenn,
best
Sinnoh.
entry song. Oh my gosh, it was so hype.
Yeah.
So the 276 episodes is on Netflix.
No. So they have 52 episodes of the first season, the Indigo League, and then it goes into their series. So I guess they just don't have the licensing for the rest of it.
Okay, so they only have like except for like an arc.
Yeah. Come on, Netflix, get it together.
Yeah.
I mean,
Netflix, you changed.
No. So I watched a video yesterday of like, it was like one of those rise and fall kind of videos,
hmm
Yeah.
and Netflix basically.
Netflix killed Blockbuster and then turned into Blockbuster.
Basically.
Well, no. It's kind of that, but like Netflix became the blockbuster killer, and then everybody else also became the blockbuster killer, but there's no blockbuster to kill.
There is one Blockbuster in the whole United States.
Yeah.
They were at TwitchCon the last time they had TwitchCon, and I was like, oh my gosh, and it was so cool.
You're going to this TwitchCon, right?
Yes.
Ooh. Are you doing an IRL stream again?
Yes.
Ooh.
What?
But are you done with your tour thing? 'Cause there's this. Is this like something?
I ran into like a dead end, so I'm done.
Yeah, Kat. There's one
What
Blockbuster
you
in the
got?
whole
What you
United
got?
States.
Yeah. What you really
Okay.
got?
So you know how apparently there are book bans in like the United States where they like ban books from like being in like libraries and stuff like that.
Mhm.
Have you checked out the most recent book bans? Like, I'm not a fanatic reader, but I came across this TikTok and it's talking about the most recent bans on books. Literally, the books that have been banned are almost all the books that I was required to read in high school.
Like To Kill a Mockingbird.
Yes, that is. Let me see. I'm pretty sure. I don't know if it's To Kill a Mockingbird, but I think the Hunger Game book has been banned.
What?
Yeah, the Hunger Game book has been banned. One of the books that are
Well,
like
that-
the
They made a movie out of it.
nope, it is now a banned book. Captain Underpants.
By who?
That's a banned book.
Captain
Junie B.
is
Jones
banned.
are banned books. Goosebumps books are banned.
What?
Goosebumps are banned.
By
Yes,
who?
the government. They're just like, these are books that are banned and are not allowed to be like in school no more.
Who the hell comes to these decisions that's like, oh, we're gonna ban Goosebumps, the least scariest books in the world?
Like, and then like the reasonings behind them is like crazy. Like Junie B. Jones books were like my favorite book to read and the only books that I could read because they have like the different fonts, from it being like the typed font to her going into like writing in her journal kind of font, and it kept me entertained enough to be able to read it. And it's banned because it's disrespectful attitude.
Disrespectful attitude.
The Anne Frank book is banned
And-
because of sexually offended and too depressing.
The Diary of Anne Frank is banned.
Yes.
One of the most important pieces of history because she actually documented her experience living through World War II in Nazi Germany.
Yes, it is
It's
banned. The Twilight book is banned because of
That's just a
sexually
terrible book. I'm
explicit,
okay with that.
promoting religion, viewpoints, and profanity.
Boo.
Let's see. The Adventures of Captain Underpants is banned because of violent imagery.
Are you kidding me?
The Giver, which was a book that I was required to read in high school, is also banned because of mention of suicide. A Light in the Attic, which is a 3-book poem book that I like where the sidewalk ends. That's like my favorite one out the whole 3 series. That is banned because it promotes disobedience, violence, and suicide. The Hunger Games is banned because of profanity, violence, and anti-government.
Wow. So
And-
the government that's banning these books is banning them because the books talk about real life experiences, and these are the same people. The people that are banning these books are the same kind of people that are going. Nobody wants to work anymore, and nobody wants to do anything. So they don't allow real life experiences only for when people get to real life to not want to deal with real life.
Yes, basically. And let's see. Another book is James and the Giant Peach. That is
that was-
banned because of drug and alcohol abuse, and it encouraged disobedience.
Encourage disobedience. So these are also the same type of people that would storm the Capitol in an act of defiance, but will ban books because it promotes disobedience.
Harry Potter is also banned because of glorifying witchcraft.
Oh, sweet baby Jesus.
Yeah. It was just
So-
crazy.
What's left?
What's left is what the government wants us to read, and
The Bible, I bet you.
So banned is in like not allowed in schools.
yes. Not allowed in schools, and I think in some libraries they're also not allowed.
You can't ban books from a library. That's literally what they're there for.
Actually, you can ban books. I think there's only like one library in the United States that holds records of every book that's technically also have been banned to hold like records in general. At least if I remember correctly.
God. This new generation
these-
of people
what-
are soft. Back in my day, we were tougher. We could take books telling us things. These kids can't handle these new types of books. Bunch of softies. Snowflakes.
No!
So you can't have them in schools, but you can still get them.
Probably.
Right.
I think it might depend on like your state and stuff.
So like you can't go to Amazon and get the book.
I mean, you probably could, but who, like, how many parents are going to be like, All because this book is banned, I'm gonna go and buy it online for my kid.
Well, it's not. Oh, this book was banned. I'm gonna go get it for my kid. It was like, oh, I grew up like reading Goosebumps, and it's like, let me get Goosebumps for my kid. Like, banned as in like it's not gonna be in schools, so you can still
They banned
you
it
still
from the
have access.
curriculum.
Basically, yeah.
Okay.
Okay, so this I remember I remember reading Night in high school, and that was one of the first books to get banned. And I remember reading To Kill a Mockingbird like 8 times because every grade that was a required reading. Um, and I remember when the Da Vinci Code came out, and they're like, "Oh, you can't let your kids read it because of whatever." And it seems like every generation they have to go through and try to scare people about learning because they only want you to learn certain things, but they don't want you to learn essential things.
Yeah.
So
They don't want people telling
let's
them
go.
what to
Let's
do,
look.
but then they tell people what to do.
So I guess I'm on the point where it's like, if you can still get the book, then fine. The libraries and well, it's the when it goes to libraries, I feel like that's too far.
See, like
I can
that's the thing.
I can
I'm not
see.
for sure, and I feel like it depends on where you're at if you can still technically get this book.
Yeah, so my like where I draw the like there's like a fuzzy line at libraries because I'm like the library should be able to hold whatever they, but they are public libraries and they're like are they government entities? I don't know, but it's like if they're tied into the government, then it's like I guess.
Don't library have like government
But
funding?
yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like if they're tied into the government, then like I guess question mark. It's kind of whatever. But if the government bans it and you can't get it at Amazon, then that's way too far. So I'm like banning it at school. I'm like, okay, you're being weird. That's
But
that's a problem.
it's
Banning it from libraries, I'm like, okay, you're going too far, and then banning it from being able to get online, then that's way too far.
I just feel like it's contradictory because the people the I'm trying to be as vague as I possibly can, but that probably won't succeed. The type of people that are supporting these books being banned are also the type of people that are like, you can't tell me what to do, right? So they're the ones that were complaining about wearing a mask. They're the ones that were complaining about things being closed down. They're the ones that complain about having to get a vaccine. They're the type of people you can't tell me what to do, but will spend all of their entire life telling people what to do and banning people from doing things that they should be allowed to do. Like these books, the reasoning behind them banning these books are to prevent. This is my opinion. This is not my opinion. I'm gonna go ahead and say that they prevent. They want to prevent the children from learning these types of things young, so they're easier. It's more easier to brush it under the rug. You know, the things
Mm-hmm.
that have occurred in this country and around the world, and the reasons that they have occurred for. So they don't want them to learn this so they can feign ignorance and be like, well, I didn't know this happened. You know, it's like it's very disingenuous when they put those reasonings for banning those books.
Mm-hmm.
So, um, maybe. I don't know for sure, and who's like. Yes, the reason why you ban books for those vague reasons to basically to like hide things and the next. Oh, I see the lava that you're talking about. Uh, uh, and uh, make the following generations like easier to control and all that kind of stuff. But I I don't know. It's like for the people who do care, the people who grew up with all these other books, and like it's like, yeah, the government can do whatever they want. They control all that. Like they control things. But if you know that the books are being banned and you don't believe that they should be banned and you have access to them, then you should still be able to access to them. Now, if like I said, going too far is like banning them from libraries and stuff like that. But if they're government funded, then it's like fine. It's your
But
it's your
but in the library, it's very much a First Amendment thing where you can't censor these types of things. You're you're these things are supposed to be there as a place to gather all of these different types of information.
I
Because
would I would agree with you if they weren't funded by the government. Like if it's a library that's not funded by the government and somehow the government controls like you can't have this book and they're like, okay, fine, then that I don't agree with. But if it's funded by the government, then they can do whatever they want. I don't agree, but they can do whatever they want because it's theirs. When it comes to like Amazon, like if they're like these books are banned and you can't get them on Amazon either, then that'll be amazing.
yeah, that's true.
So that's what my opinion is. If like the government makes a decision, then it's like whatever they're tied into, then they can that's is their rules, their house, their rules. But once it goes into things that aren't controlled by the government, and they're like these books are banned in the country forever, like you can't get them any other way. Like if you have Harry Potter, you're going to jail. Like that is because that would used to happen, right? Like
Well, the thing that's dangerous about the book bans is that people then start turning it into book burns. So then they get all of these books together that they pulled out of the libraries from the schools or whatever, and then just go burn them. And it's kind of like, it's a shitty thing to do, to just sit here and burn, uh, the, in a lot of cases a person's life's work. Like with Night, the writer, the author of that book. I'm sorry, the author of that book. That's his experience of living in internment camps, right?
mhm.
So this dude just told you his story about the hell of Nazi Germany and living through all of that, and then you're like, all right, well, it's time to burn your story that you wrote to share, to never be lost, to never be forgotten, so people will know what it was, so it's not repeated, and then they just go burn all his books.
Yeah. And see, my thing is, there might be more books that I just don't know of. I just know, like, this one hit me kind of hard because these were books that I grew up reading, and not even like I grew up reading like 10 years ago, or I guess a little bit more than 10 years ago. But, and the fact that they're just from like that short amount of time, they're now banned books and stuff.
It's almost walked into the fire.
Oh,
I man, does every generation feel like this? Because
do you feel like this also?
I'm just like uh, it's like when you hear about banning books, that's like, oh, that's something that they did in the past.
Yeah, it's a very archaic thing to do at this point. Like they okay, let's say even if they ban the books, as if they don't have access to it in so many different channels. Like what is the purpose of even
Banning it.
of going through this. It, it, and I think that's why it bothers me is because they know it's not exactly like it's a victory, and it's not exactly as if they're erasing it from all of history, but it's the symbolism behind it, the fact that they are actually getting away with it, and the fact that they can do something this stupid and then count it as a victory.
I, th-
But
I
it,
think
but it, go
I
ahead.
think it does count as a victory because, like, even though how I'm saying, like, as long as it's available on Amazon, like, then it should be fine. It's still not really okay for everyone because a lot of people don't have like the whole reason why there is a public library is so everybody has access to knowledge.
Exactly.
So
And
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 yeah,
that's a terrible thing is because yeah, it is kind of a victory, and it's something that they can hang their hats on and be like, oh, we got these books removed, like it's some kind of in some self righteous way of
Yeah,
vindicating themselves, you know.
I
But
can kind of agree with that because I'm assuming like with the Anne Frank book and everything, if that book has been banned, and I know that's usually always been something that's talked about during school, is that now something they're not allowed to teach at school if the book about it is banned? Which is now a part of an important history thing that now is not going to get covered no more and going to soon be forgotten.
yeah, and that yeah, because if you're not, because a lot of the places that you find out about these books is in school because they bring it up, they bring it to your attention. They're like, hey, so we're gonna read this book because the topics are very heavy and it's something that we feel like you need to learn, right?
you need to learn history
But
so you don't repeat it.
exactly, and I feel because we've gotten because now at this point we're what 70 years removed from World War II and all of that stuff that happened. Now everybody's like, oh, that's you can't teach these things now, and like it'll eventually become one of those things that it gets will happen again because they want to play this stupid little game of trying to erase it, and the reason behind it is like it's a racist thing basically. That's how I'm going to interpret it as, and that's why when they sit on their high horse and be like, oh, we got this victory, is because they they're slowing or they're taking away some of the progress that we made, acknowledging something like this to make sure that it doesn't happen again. So
Mm,
it's a little infuriating.
I really feel
yeah, I know it's a very like mixed feeling thing.
because it's like I'm like old man taco where it's like the country's going in reverse. What's happening these days? And I'm like, ugh.
Get off of my lawn.
Yeah, cause like I can like see it from like both point of view. Like Taco's point of view is like if you can still get it and be able to read it, is not
But what?
as horrible compared to Signature's point of view is this is not something that's now being taught to the next generation and is going to basically be just swept underneath the rug.
As a kid in high school, do you think you would have ever looked for these books? Because
No.
I wasn't a reader. I was not.
Same.
I'm still not a reader. But the fact that I had to learn these things in school, I now I have that information, whether I do anything with it or not. But I know, like, this is a story of a woman or of a young girl who had to live in an attic to try to survive being eradicated off the face of the earth. Right?
Yes.
The horrible stories of having to living in an internment camp where they didn't feed you, you were tortured, beaten, and then killed. That happened. That's a fact. That's a part of history that existed, and now you're telling that y'all don't need to learn that. Y'all don't need to be made aware of this level of atrocity that existed.
Yeah, because
And the
it's
next,
too depressing or something like that.
yeah, and then the next generation just goes off ignorant to something that ignorant to somebody to the fact that somebody can be that brutal and vicious and that large of a scale.
Or let history repeat itself again and something like that happens.
Yeah. It because I'm very much of the the mind that you have to you have to know these things, right? You don't if you're ignorant to things, how do you know how to exist with it? Uh,
It's like
like it's so hold on.
yeah, go ahead.
Because we are in Texas, and Texas is the state, and they're like, "Oh, abstinence is the key." Blah blah. So this is my example that I'm using, and they're like, "Oh, abstinence is the key." This and that. Blah blah blah. And then, but when I was in high school, the amount of pregnant teenagers that were there because they just didn't want to teach it to them, they didn't have the information to make the decision. So now you're taking away the information for them to make decisions, and it doesn't make it better. You have to know what exists to know how to handle it. And now you're disarming kids by taking away the knowledge. You're disarming the next generation. You're being ignorant to something doesn't make you less likely to prevent it, or it doesn't make you more likely to prevent it. It makes you less capable of handling it.
Yeah. I was like on a on a less serious note. Even though like still containing the same subject, it's like things passing from one generation to the next. Um, whether it's language or pieces of technology and stuff like that. It's kind of scary how quickly things can be lost
Yeah.
because does everybody remember having a phone with a cord attached to the wall?
The core is so much fun to play with, though. But I don't think that's something everybody remembers.
Yeah, because it's like I would say, and then also, and it's one of those things where like comedians would say like you had to be home for somebody to like contact you. Yeah, and
Or I
my
would say it's like texting. You had to push the button 3 times to get to the letter you actually wanted.
yeah,
Or even how about dial-up internet?
yeah, or it's like you just open up a window and just you're at Google already, and you got a
Yeah.
program that turns on the internet, and then you have
Yeah.
to wait for it to connect, and then you better hope nobody makes a phone call or somebody calls
Absolutely
you
not.
because you have to start over.
Yeah.
I
But
don't think
yeah,
I
as far
had to
as
experience
Or
that one
or or
actually.
that or that you had to buy time. You didn't even buy a monthly service. You had to buy time. So you get like 200 hours of internet.
or was it was like 200 minutes or something like that.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Yeah, and then one company just kept sending you time just because they wanted you on their service.
Yeah.
And like it's supposed to be like a sample, but like you just grab
Just used it.
full of them, and you're like, cool, I'm good for a week. Uh, but the one thing where like things passing from one generation to the next is real slippery. Like, um, a thing passing from let's say our parents' generation or the signatures parents, maybe our parents too. I'm not sure, but like previous generations to the following generation is like a typewriter.
Yeah.
It's like I've typed on a typewriter a couple times. It's like heavy as in like it's actually heavy to pick up, but then it's also heavy as in like it's
To push.
durable. Yeah, it's like substantial. Like to type S, it's like you push it down, it's like whack. Like
I don't
Yeah.
think I've ever in person seen a typewriter. I've
yeah,
seen
I think
like videos or like pictures of a typewriter and I know what it is, but I've never actually physically like touched a typewriter.
yeah, one of like um trying to how to say this without being so specific. Um, I would say 2 generations above me, someone had a typewriter, and I visited their house and like typed on it a couple times, and like then they're like, and I'm like, oh, I messed up, and they're like, oh, here's this little sheet of whiteout that you have to like line up perfectly and type the same mistake. Poof, now it's gone. Like for typewriters, passing from one like going from typewriter to personal computer to cell phone and stuff like that, losing the typewriter is a generation before me or a few generations before me, and
Yeah.
knowing that has gone, I'm like, yeah, because computers are much better. And then the thing that I feel like they didn't hit me as hard. Like losing a typewriter didn't hit me as hard because I didn't grow up using a typewriter. A silly video made me realize something that like went away. It's like the phone with the cord on that's attached to the wall. Like you only could go a certain distance. So what you would do is you would go to Walmart and get the extra long cord and swap that out. So
Until
then you
can
can
get
actually
a
like
cordless phone.
well I would say the yeah. Eventually we moved on to cordless phones, which like I didn't even think about until you said that. But so like that was something that I like genuinely went from a child to an adult having, and that was something that is no longer around, and that's something that like that's the typewriter to either my parents or grandparents. Like so technology that's gone away.
Or pagers or answering
Yeah,
machines.
Oh,
yeah, and my
my
sister.
dad had a pager, and I was like, "What the fudge is this thing?" And I would like mess around with it, but I didn't. I never understood how it like worked.
Yeah, so like the weird thing that's slippery about it is my sister sent me a video of either one of her friends or somebody else that she like some influencer online that she watches, her daughters like going down to the basement to and showing them like like the home like the landline, and
Oh yeah.
it was them like, whoa, what is like it's a dinosaur or something. I'm like, it's a phone. What do you
Oh.
mean? What is this? And they're like,
Yeah.
ah, and like you look at the cord and it's all jacked up, and I'm like, oh my god, the cord's jacked up because it never stays straight. And I'm just
No.
like, wow. And then they're like, yeah, dial your phone number, and then like like the older sister was like on the phone like pushing in the buttons, and it was and then the cell phone lit up, and they're like, and I'm like, yeah, it's a phone. I'm like, what? I'm like, oh my god, the people growing, like youngest people right now growing up, like that, unless somebody in their family, like an older person in their family, has one, that'll never come across their life.
Mm-hmm.
So when we're talking about like, and that just kind of hit me, I'm like, oh god, ancient now, like having that phone or something like that. And
You
then
know,
now with these books and stuff like that, it's like more than half of those books that you've talked about or listed, like I'm like, yeah, I know somebody who either read it or I read it or it was a movie, and I'm like, now all of a sudden they're like it's banned, and then maybe not my nieces, but my niece's kids like will never come across that book in their life, and that's where it's scary, and like
what
things are real slippery, like you can just lose them and it's like out of your control.
you bringing that up actually made me think of language
Hey,
because you were
Kiki,
saying
yeah,
how you can lose it in a generation.
yeah,
You could
that's why I
lose
brought it up. Yeah.
you could like you could lose language just like that, right? Because
Mm-hmm.
my parents only speak Spanish, and then mine and me and my brothers, we speak Spanish and English, but our Spanish isn't as strong as my parents. So, we really have to practice to be able to remember a lot of things, or just to speak it fluently or correctly, or make sure that we're getting a lot of things correct, because we kind of mixed it together. But then I go to like my nephew and my niece. My nephew doesn't refuses to learn Spanish, right? So even though we were trying to teach him in the beginning, just gave up, doesn't want to learn it, refuses to speak it, doesn't want to even acknowledge that it's part of, uh, I guess, who he is or where he comes from. So, you know, that's all it takes to lose that something that's that big, or as important as language. A way to communicate could be lost by just not wanting to acknowledge it, and I guess that's kind of why banning books bothers me because it's like they're choosing to not acknowledge history or uh, works of
Certain everyday
literature that are
life stuff. Yeah.
yeah,
Like
and it's
depression's a big issue at the moment. Suicide's a
yeah,
big issue at the moment.
yeah. So pretending that it doesn't exist or trying to prevent somebody from seeing it in an everyday uh, instance, how somebody has to deal with that or how challenging it can be. Taking their way of learning about it isn't going to improve the situation. Pretending something doesn't exist doesn't make it not exist.
Yeah.
Oh, oh, you were talking about phones. It made me think of the phone, which I don't know, you can even find it, but like the phones where you have to you put your finger in the hole and it's like a circle, and you go jump, and you have to let it go back up, and you go jump for the next one, and you
The
let it go.
rotary dials.
Yeah, rotary phone.
Yes. I never saw one, but I had a toy like that, and I just thought that was like the coolest thing ever.
Yeah.
The cow goes moo. Moo.
Nah, forget the cow. Me little like shoom, shoom, just sticking my and just like trying to just twirling it around and everything. It's just so cool.
It's so like trying to use a rotary dial, and you're like 4, 5, 7, 8. Crap, I meant 6. Hang up. Start over. 4. You're like, I could have been done with the phone call by now.
The way that we look at rotary phones is the way that kids now look at landlines. They're like, oh, you can't take it with you everywhere, and you can't get on the internet. That's so inconvenient. Why would you ever use such a thing?
Or like a flip phone with no internet.
Or like what the first mobile phone, which was that big old cinder block you were holding up with your head with the antenna on it.
With a suitcase you had to hold on to.
Yeah.
Y'all remember car phones? How that was like a big deal thing?
I don't think I know.
It was,
how you
'cause you
explain it.
That was
Because it would be Elden be in like Mercedes and limousines and stuff like that. So if you had a car in your phone, you were a big shot.
yeah. It was the next step past cordless phone. You're like, ha! I don't have to be attached to the wall. You're like, ha! I don't even have to be home.
I'm on the road doing business. I'm so cool.
Yeah.
Hey Taco, quick question.
Uh-huh.
Where do you expect to get all the nether brick from?
So all the nether that you were incinerating?
No, not netherrack, nether brick. The other part of the path.
Yeah. So all the netherrack that you were incinerating was supposed to go into the oven at the warehouse.
Hold up, I gotta let my dog out real quickly.
Uh-huh.
But I am about to come back to that topic because I'm pretty sure you're about to blow my mind on something. But hold up.
I forgot to grab a bucket, and I wanted a bucket, and I forgot to do it. So now I gotta
Mr.
go back.
Bucket.
Just put.
Yeah, that's where I stopped.
Yeah. There's no good way to continue that anymore.
Nope. I ended it with a nice, cool sound effect and moved on.
And then that just made me think of that lollipop song.
Oh.
Lollipop, lollipop, ooh, lollipop.
I'm back.
Lollipop. Ba-dum-dum-dum.
And now knowing just how perverted everybody was from that generation, I can't not hear
I
that song
am
and be
back.
like, there's some extra meaning to it.
Thank you, thank you.
It's like I never go in that direction until people like react, and then I'm like, oh no.
So, sorry, you can keep going.
Huh?
Oh, I was gonna bring up Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer and how I've always pointed out that song is terrible because it's like, oh, you suck until we really need you. Now all of a sudden you're cool. You're useful to us now, so now we like you. And that's how I've always explained that song. And everybody's like, no, they love him. It's about being friends. I was like, nah, man, they hated him because he was different until he
Yup.
was useful to them, and then they think he's amazing.
Yeah. How many? How many pieces do we need? Like 70?
Wait for what?
The netherite pieces.
Oh, because we needed it for everybody, and it wasn't it like 26 for
Well,
people
technically
or
for
something?
you and Ray Ray.
Yeah, so 52.
I don't know. Don't
15.
even ask me.
I
I'm
got
just mining.
4.
And I have 18.
No, I have like 17 pieces.
I have none.
Your priorities are elsewhere.
Yeah. So talk, you're not about to you weren't about to tell me that if I cook netherrack,
Oh,
it makes nether brick.
yeah. And then you take the nether brick and then you make the block.
No. That does not that is no, hold up.
Is that
Oh my god.
Yeah. So all that stuff you burned.
I didn't know. It did that.
For some reason, when you said you were burning it, that didn't click either. I'm always like, I only think about how to get the bricks when I need the brick.
well?
See,
Don't worry because we still have a bunch of beds, and then I had a whole bunch of netherrack that I can
Had?
start cooking.
Oh, okay.
I still have some, and then we still have 8 beds, so that's 8 more holes to blow up that we can use to gather netherrack and cook. So I can start cooking the stuff that I have on me now instead of clearing things out or smoothing out those rooms. That way we can start cooking the nether brick. That makes sense.
my thing is I didn't know that's how this is I've this thought I've never like used nether brick in my opinion because I just don't like the block, but I always just thought you either just destroy a fortress or now with the piglins in there, you can just trade them gold and nether bricks is just something you get and then you turn the nether bricks into the nether brick block. I didn't know netherrack, you could cook netherrack and it turned into nether brick.
So it's been this like precious material.
I mean, it's not
And then
precious
you're
to me
like,
because I
oh,
don't use the block ever.
well, it's like if it's a material that you wanted, it was like,
Yes.
it was it was an ordeal to get,
Yes.
and then now it's like, oh, it's all around.
Oh my
Like,
god.
I've been throwing it away this whole time.
You've been throwing away gold.
I guess for taco is gold, but yeah, cause I was about to ask, depending on what your answer was, I was really about to start destroying the fortress right next to us.
No, that's getting turned into a farm of some sort.
It's getting turned
I'll
into a
leave the
nightclub. We're
blaze
going
spawner,
dancing.
the blaze spawner alone. They're supposed to go and just take off a few legs.
So no nightclub.
Unless you want to put like some redstone lights on the wither skeleton farm.
If I knew how to do that, it would be done.
Yeah, the wither skeleton farm. And then I guess wherever the I don't know, because I wanted to wither skeleton / blaze farm. If I could combine them somehow,
Oh
We got some
no.
brick cooking
Then-
for you in
then-
the oven over here.
thank you. Then that would be great. Um,
You do
Oh.
good work, Taco. You do good work.
thank y'all.
Should probably just
So,
drink this. Drink this.
question number 1 from BuzzKenya.com.
What the
Buzz
it?
Kenya. You don't want to know?
I don't think so.
Okay. What floats your boat?
Oh God. What was the last picture you took with your phone?
Oh, the picture of my dogs.
Let me open up my phone real quickly.
Oh no, wait, no. You know what? It was a picture at work.
Same. I was working and my ADD kicked in, and I saw a skeleton on a shelf, and I propped it up to where it looked like it was sitting off the shelf with its hands up and the arm hanging on a box next to it. And I took a picture of it to show my friend.
Love it.
That's cool. The last picture I took was yesterday, and it is
Took a
the-
picture of yesterday. That's amazing.
Yeah, it's hard to see. It's fading away.
Fading away.
It is the Cinefuego Toast Crunch bag that I put in this.
Oh, that abomination you stuck up in there?
You don't like spicy cinnamon?
Spicy
No.
cinnamon?
You didn't
Big
see
red
that
gum?
abomination he posted?
I did not. I'm
It's an
scared to look
abomination.
now. Sounds like it. Cinefuego. Oh, all I can think of is my heartburn.
Y'all haven't had big red gum?
Yes, Big Red Gum is amazing.
Yeah, when I was young and that did know about bad decisions.
Yeah, that's spicy cinnamon.
Yeah, but that's spicy
But that's-
cinnamon, not spicy sweet cinnamon.
What?
And the
So,
burn of
wait.
that is different than a
Spicy cinnamon is sweet.
Wait, is this spicy cinnamon cereal?
Yeah.
Yes.
Well,
Well,
that
it's
is
like cereal snack.
Sounds like a terrible idea.
Thank you.
I don't like it, but I'm like, y'all don't. Nobody's a fan
Nope.
of like big red gum.
Yes, I'm a fan of Big Red Gum.
What if
Big
it tastes?
gum is
Okay.
fine.
Okay. I think it tastes like big red gum. It may not, but what if it did taste like big red gum?
I
Then
still
it's,
don't want to eat it.
it'll be one of those things that I am highly surprised that that's what it tastes like. But
Okay.
until then, that's not what I'm gonna be thinking of.
What are you thinking of?
I'm thinking the cinnamon toast crunch cereal, spicy, and it's Fuego, so it makes me think of the Takis. So the Taki spicy
Ew.
cinnamon toast stuff.
Oh.
That's exactly what it makes me think of.
I love Takis. Y'all don't like Takis?
No,
I
I'm thinking of
mean,
the
I like
the
Takis.
spicy dust that I hate.
So yeah, that's what Taco's thinking. But I'm thinking because of the name that's on there, it is highly associated with Takis, and so I'm thinking Takis cinnamon toast crunch cereal, basically.
But yeah, the thing that bugs me about that is that you have to put milk in it, and then that
Yes.
just that sounds like it'll destroy you by the end of the day.
I think it would be interesting.
You taste it, Doc, and you tell us how it tastes.
You know what? Go for it. I'll look forward to the conversation from your restroom.
Yeah. This stream is being brought to you from the bathroom. I ate the snacks and it was the worst decision of my life.
Stream is brought to you by porcelain, the thing that is.
Yeah. So I don't know if you know signature. I am against flaming hot. I don't care what it is, but I don't like flaming hot.
Like
Anything.
Cheetos, nothing. You don't like spicy food.
No, I don't like flaming hot. I love spicy stuff.
Whoa, wait. Okay, so what's the difference then?
Flaming hot is there's red powder that I don't know for sure, but red dye that's in food was made out of bugs.
What?
Yeah. Oh, did you know that the raspberry flavoring in ice cream is made from beaver butt juice?
What?
What?
Yeah. Yeah.
No.
It really is. It's from the glands of a beaver's butt.
I don't know about that one, but I know red velvet cake used to be made with beets to make red.
I'm okay with beets.
Yeah, I think like the red 40 or whatever red color. I don't know if it's still made with that one specific bug, but like to get that red color, it's like crushed red. But
That doesn't sound like it's that unbelievable to me. But that makes.
let me get some updated info.
I'm telling you, beaver butt
We
glands.
need one. We need one. Fact checking everything. See, I put red food coloring and the first result is bugs. Does red food coloring come from bugs? This is because of one of the most widely read food colorings. Carmine is made from crushed up bugs. It didn't even say yes. It just went ahead and explained why. 2018. Carmine, I'm not sure if it's in Flaming Hot, but I'm like, red food coloring, red dust. They have so much of the red now. And I just don't like the taste of it.
I mean, that's fair.
And they put it on everything. I'm like, stop. Don't you dare touch my Funyuns.
Ew.
Onions?
Yes, they did flaming hot Funyuns.
We ain't talking about that. We're talking about Funyuns in general.
Oh, you don't like Funyuns?
I was gonna say you don't like Funyuns. That you can tell she's from a younger generation. Ah.
No, I just don't like onions in my opinion.
Oh, okay.
But it's not. It doesn't taste like onions.
It's
No.
a fun onion.
No,
So there's probably some kind of fungus on it.
no, no Funyuns.
So I love Funyuns, and I didn't know what it was,
Um,
but I liked it.
isn't that flavor of onion like a Hawaiian onion?
I don't
think there's-
know.
There's
I
a,
always just thought it was made up and it wasn't an actual onion.
Yeah, there's a. I
What?
saw it at Target like years ago. There was their one brand of kettle chips. That's the Target brand, Good and Gather or something, or before Good and Gather was a thing. Archer's Farms. There we go. Dang, that's like a decade ago. Yeah, Archer Farms. They had kettle chips, and one of the flavors was Maui onion, and I was like,
Ah,
what is
Interesting.
that even? I was like, what does that even mean? I'm like, Maui, like Hawaii? I'm like, a lot of things in Hawaii are sweet, so I'm like, what is this? So I tried it, and it tasted just like Funyuns. And I'm like, oh, it is like, it is actual onion flavor. It's like a Maui onion, not like a regular onion. I hate like if it was just like onion chips, I'd be like, no, thank you.
So, the, do you not like onion rings, Kiki?
No.
Really?
Yeah.
I think you're the first person I've ever heard say that.
I do not like
Oh.
onions, but any recipe that I make that requires onions, I literally make it almost into a paste. So whenever I cook it, it basically dissolves in, but I still get kind of like the flavoring that it adds to it without actually tasting the onions.
So, onion in any shape, way, or form, not even like sautéed or grilled.
No, I don't like any of it. I like onion powder as in the seasoning, but I don't know if that counts as the same.
Is it too pungent? Is that the thing?
No, I just don't like how it tastes.
Oh, okay.
I can say the same thing about mushrooms. That one is a taste
Ooh,
and a how it smells when it's cooked.
oh, smell, not
Yeah,
texture.
no, I'm
Oh,
not. Textures don't bother me that much, but onions smell disgusting when it's cooked, and they taste just as bad in my opinion. Or not onions, mushrooms.
Mushrooms.
okay, yeah, onion when mushrooms are cooked, they kind of yeah. There's
I'm
one
still here,
place that
sorry,
has
listening.
like
While doing this, I don't like
unusual
onions either. Yeah, like
onion rings.
I'm upset because I always want to try
Have you
like
ever
the
been to
blooming
Mangia?
onions. Also, Kadri doesn't like onions either because we were
Pizza
both
place?
talking about how we both
Yes.
want to try the blooming
They have
onions,
red
but
onion
we
rings.
both don't like onions.
Red onion rings?
Yeah.
I'm assuming it's just onion rings are made with red onions.
Yeah. So they're like sweeter and like thinner,
Are red
but it's
onions
they grease
sweeter?
them
I
kind of
thought they're like the sweet onions that are sweet.
Red,
or like the yellow ones.
red.
Yeah, the one that literally say like sweet onions.
Yeah, the that one that one I don't get because I'm like I tried cooking with the sweet onion and it like I was like I don't get it. But if I do something with the red onions, I'm like yeah, this it's a different taste. Um, God dang it, I've gone through 3 flint and steels.
I got some flint if you want it.
Oh, I have flint and steel in my pocket, and I was just like I have a what the
Oh yeah, don't even ask me how many flint and steel it took
dude.
me to
Dude, quit running
go
through the
through
fire
it.
and you won't burn. This piglin's like, let me get in the white in the blue. And I'm like, no, that's more fire.
He's like, I don't want to be bacon, but it smells pretty good.
I was kind of surprised. I watched an Enderman get in the fire for the first time, and I've never seen an Enderman like on fire.
Trying to grab the
That-
block that was on fire. That would have been hilarious. Just walking around with a flaming block.
Everyone knows. Do you feel
For some
alright?
reason, that sounds scary. Uh,
Enderman on fire?
Yeah.
It was weird because I just happened to catch him out the corner of my eye, and I was like, "What is that? That's on fire!" And I walked up to it.
You're like, we're not playing dungeons. What is this?
The rules have changed. The Enderman discovered fire.
um, let's see. So my last picture was the thing. What was your picture at work? Signature?
Oh, me? Hold on. I'll have to pull it up. This is probably a hole or a fin.
And it only makes sense to you because you do construction.
Yeah. Oh, no, it was a picture of a bunch of mirrors in a trailer thing.
Ah, okay. Question number 2. Have you ever have you been pulled over by a cop?
No.
Yeah.
No, really. Kiki, I want to let Kiki drive.
Yeah, right. Just never get pulled over.
Oh, I mean, I'm just a very, very, very observative person. And I always check my surroundings. And also know where to look just in case there might be like one sitting somewhere.
Okay.
I've never been pulled over for speeding. I will say that.
And what have you been pulled over for?
I got pulled over one night because it was late at night and I was like half asleep, and that's not code for I'd been drinking. I was actually, I was half asleep. I was tired because I was leaving my friend's house, like at 1 o'clock, and I forgot to fully turn on my headlights. So I put on like the first one because I was trying to be respectful because I didn't want to turn all my headlights on for all the people in the house. So I was like, barely turned it on, and like I wanted was gonna pull out and then turn it on when I got on the road, and I'd made it probably like 2 minutes away from the house. I had just I didn't turn it on, and the cop was waiting right outside the neighborhood and pulled me over. He's like, "Hey, you don't have headlights on. You been drinking?" I was like, "No, I was very sleepy."
You do that too.
Yeah, I because it sucks when
I've
somebody drives by your house and just like the headlights are in right through the windows.
or like
So
you're parked face to face
yeah,
and like you're leaving and somebody just like blam in your eyes. You're like,
Yep.
hey, I'm right in front of you.
Oh, people riding with their high beams on?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes, hell of annoying.
So yeah, okay. Um. So back when I had my first car, it was a 20-year-old car when I got it, and things just kept breaking. Like the tail lights would go out all the time,
Yeah.
and uh, for some reason, people love to run into my car when it was parked. But
Ouch.
yeah, a couple times they're like, "Hey, your tail lights out." I'm like, "Oh, okay." I'm all nervous. I'm like, "What did I do? What did I do?" They're
Yeah.
like, tail light. I'm like, "Oh, okay." Um, and then one time, oh, it was a
Wait,
so
onions triggered your acid reflux,
I
cat? I did
what was
not know
it?
that.
When I signed the lease to this house, I was excited. Oh
I'm being
no, that was
left to
something
my
different.
own occurs, so
Um,
I'm about to go
what
and
was it? I
test
think
some
I got
stuff
a
out
job.
without
I did
Taco
something
knowing.
that was like a milestone. Like
So
I
I'm
either
going
got
to
a new
test out a small
job or
version
like
of it and see if it
or
works.
something. And I was just excited and wasn't paying attention. And I was going like a little bit over the speed limit and got like my first and only speeding ticket. And then I went to this class and I learned what the word ganja meant because because the teacher the self wait something driving, what is it, not self driving, defensive driving class, yeah.
Uh-huh.
um it was this Caribbean dude or in that area or whatever, and he was like, I can't remember what the sentence was, but he was like, blah blah blah, that ganja, and I'm like, the what? But
Smoke on the ganja.
I don't get
yeah,
it.
Ganja's another word for weed.
Oh, the devil's lettuce.
Devil's lettuce.
That wacky tobacco.
What?
There's so many different names.
Yeah.
My favorite thing to say is from 40-Year-Old Virgin, where Steve Carell's character is drunk. And they're asking him questions, and he was like, "Hey, hey, hey! How many pots have you smoking?" I don't know why. It's like his delivery or the ridiculousness of it, but I'm like, yeah. So whenever I want to be ridiculous, I'm like, "How many pots have you smoking?"
Oh, dude's warming his hands. Um, let's see. Okay, third and last question, because it's I don't know why I can't make this shorter. Always 3 hours. I'm just gonna go ahead and assume that the days will be 3 hours.
Holy crap!
You just realized it was 3 hours?
No, no, I realized that a long time ago.
Oh, okay.
I made my peace with it.
I'm currently making my peace with it.
I blew up a hole and there was 5 ancient debris here.
Nice.
But I'm out of fire resist potions and it's a whole pool of lava also.
Yeah, I already knew it had been past the time because I had already like messaged my friend. I'm like, hey, is anybody trying to play tonight? They're like, nah, we're just kind of sleeping. I'm like, okay, cool. I'm just gonna keep streaming.
Everything's going according to plan.
So
Oh,
the
it
next,
worked from here.
the next one is: do you know your heritage?
As in,
Yeah, I was about to say, as in,
I guess like ancestry.
yes, actually, I know because I actually bought an ancestry kit long ago
Ah,
and did it.
cool. I've been curious about it, but not curious enough to get one of those kits. Cause so basically no, I don't know like my heritage, but I know that that like what was it? My biological father and my uncle. Um when I first learned about ancestry.com, probably 15 years ago, I started doing that and like started asking questions and stuff like that and started building something up. And then I found out that my uncle was doing that. And I was like, oh, cool. So I tried to link our like trees together so we could like work on it together. And I think back then the technology wasn't really there to like link different accounts and stuff like that. I'm pretty sure it's like way better now. Been at least 10 years. Um, and then later on, I found out that my biological father was doing that too. So I can't remember if I had logged back in and like started linking things up and got back into it for a little bit, but it's weird because like all of the last names were like different. They're like different last names, maiden names, and all that kind of stuff. And then like the higher you get up, all the names start becoming the same, and it's weird. Like, so I feel like I know how like basically I feel like I know who had my ancestors
oh,
because of the last name.
Ew, okay.
But beyond that, I don't know where they originally.
Hmm.
I have a question
Uh-huh.
about this. So, what piqued your interest in trying to uh th- trace back your lineage? I guess. What made you want to do it?
I feel like it might have been like Ancestry.com commercial. And I was like, oh,
Yeah.
that's a thing. And then I just signed up.
You
But
didn't. You weren't hesitant to do it.
um no, I think I was what, early 20s. So I was just like, oh, I'd like to know. And then I started looking, like, started digging around. And they're like, those little leaves. And they're like, oh, and you get the little leaf, and it's like a bit of information. And I'm like, oh, this is cool. Like, I'm naturally like a curious person. So, like, whenever there's like, they're like, oh, here's a clue. And I'm like, ooh. So it was, when I first signed up, I was like, wasn't exactly sure what it was. And then, like, they gave me enough, like, little things to kind of keep my interest up until a certain point, and then I didn't have the information to continue. I'm assuming, and then it got rekindled when I found out that somebody else in my family was doing that. And I'm like, oh, they did some of the work, so I'm like, cool. Let me link up and not have to do all of it myself.
So how does it work? How does Ancestry.com find all of this stuff? I guess is it from other people that start putting in their information and then their database apparent or their database ties it together and then they're like, oh hey, this is something we discovered, or is it very
Uh,
much something that you have to like go through and dig through stuff to find out?
I think it's a combination of both. I think there's historical records that are like public that like anybody has access to, and that'll be like their base. And then people enter the information that they have. So then, if another user like has something that matches yours, then they're like, this may be a clue. And
But there's also DNA because you can send in your DNA and they can actually go through about it that way too. 'Cause that's
yeah,
what
that was
I
something that was
did.
after when I first did it. They started adding that. So that was like the whole 23andMe and then Ancestry, like the DNA thing. Those are things that I was like, ooh. And then I think I heard about the price, and I was like, oh.
Yes,
So
it is not
Expensive.
cheap. It is very
yeah,
expensive.
yeah. So that's one thing that I'm like, I kind of want to do that just to like, cause I feel like I know where all the like everything comes to one last name. I'm like, okay, that gives me some information, but I'd like to know past that last name to like where, cause I think there was a comedian, um, and I think he found out that he was like Kenyan, so he like went to Kenya and like kind of like was like tracing back his roots or something like that. And I was like, oh, that's cool. I'd like every time something like that happens, it gets kind of rekindled. But then I remember,
Hmm.
Yes, that is pretty interesting.
do you know your lineage or what is it, heritage?
I mean, I know as far back as my grandparents because that my parents would tell me stories, but I uh I feel like I should be more interested in it, and I'm just not, and it's kind of a shame that I'm not. But m- my parents and their parents grew up in the same country, so you know,
Ah,
uh, there might be something there, but I think for me to find anything that would be, I guess, uh, worth discovering, I would have to go pretty far back because it's not
okay.
like my yeah, because I don't. As far as I can, well, as far as I understand from my family, from both sides of my family, like they've always lived from in that country. I'm sure somewhere like way back in the day, some Spaniard traveled and then ended up there, and something like that happened. But uh, I don't know. I think I'd have to do a lot more digging than I would want to do to get any kind of new information, and I don't think it would be worth it.
Okay. Cool, cool, cool. Yeah, during one of my breaks, I kind of like skimmed through this list of questions, and I was like, oh, these. I was like, I was just remembering like back in the day when Me and Juan used to go through the that question game that the questions at the thing. So back in my old retail job, there were this new like line of kid toys that came out, and it kind of got me a little worried because it was like anger management for kids. And I'm like, what are you
Dang.
talking about? And then it was like, what was one of the other ones? Um, it was like a couple other things. I'm like, are kids in that bad of shape nowadays?
Remember when all the kids were ADHD, so they just started giving everybody Ritalin? Is it now they're all angry, so they all need anger management?
I don't know, but it was like all the names of the toys were like worrisome. I'm like, who is everybody okay? Like, I'm a little,
Okay.
a little.
On a different note, I pulled up my ancestry thingy.
Oh,
Yeah.
Why? Why did I think
He's
that was a good idea?
He's
Why?
burning again. Okay, so I am 79% sub-Saharan African, 19% European, and 1.3% indigenous American. Yes.
okay.
And it is broken down
Sub-Saharan.
even further.
Sub-Saharan.
Yeah, that's like is like West Africa, 68%. It's like, and then breaking that down even more, it's like 38% Nigerian and like 17% this and 3% that and 8% broad West Africa. And then I have the 10% come from the southern East Africa. And there's a whole bunch of other stuff that I just don't know how to pronounce. And then the 19% European is 16% Northwest European, and then to break that 16% down, it's 13% British and Irish, 1.5% French and German, and then 1.3% broadly like Northwest European, and then I have apparently 2% Jewish.
At this point in the human race, aren't we all essentially just the same thing in different percentages?
Just like a
Like,
beige across the board.
Yeah.
Yep, in different colors.
Like there's only a couple of places that we could have come from. You know, it's not like they're like, oh, I'm also Martian. Who would have thought? You know.
Apparently, I have 0.1% Asian and Filipino. That was just apparently recently added. Nice.
Like, oh, we forgot what.
Well, I mean, it just gets updated. Like, this is like, I haven't looked at this in a long time. So I feel like this has actually been updated because I usually just get the spam of, oh, there's somebody new that might be connected to you. I'm like, delete. Because I just, see, I wanted to figure out what I was. I'm not like Taco that will go through and fill out everything. I don't want to fill it out. I am too lazy to fill it out. I just want to know what I am.
Yeah. I'm like, I was curious. And then I was like, okay, this is not getting me anywhere. And then somebody's like, I got some more info. And I'm like, cool. And then I tie all that together. And then I ended up getting stuck again. And I'm like, do you got more information? They're like, oh, I haven't touched this in like 2 years. I'm like, okay. Well, I found out some new information, but stuck. And then somebody was like, oh, I've been working on it too. I'm like, ooh. I him in. And I'm like, oh, didn't get any farther. Cool.
That's pretty cool. It's cool to see that y'all were interested in doing that because I have like no desire, interest, or care to do it.
I don't think I kind of fall in that category. I only did it because I was able to find a test for $5.
Oh, I bet you still did it because if I would have saw that same test, I'd have been like, nah, man, that's the government trying to track me, and then I would have walked away.
Yeah, there's a little bit of hesitance for that, where it's like giving someone your DNA and all that.
They're just using it to make the clone that's gonna replace me in a couple years.
um,
Understandable.
but another thing is like, uh, I see how there's a difference in um, like how me and Kiki kind of feel about it versus. Well, I don't know. It's like Kiki, she kind of got gifted like the whole thing was like, okay, cool. Um, for me, I'm like, it's kind of like everything kind of leads to a last name, and then beyond that, then there's like a hurdle that I
Yeah.
like. For me, I have to figure out because someone had us, and then after that, then it'll be the normal like, oh, tracking back like a couple generations, and then like my great great grandfather Germany or something like that.
Yeah.
Whereas it's yeah, it's interesting because like
You want?
when I was originally looking at it, I completely forgot the aspect of it. I was just like, why does everybody have the same last name? And like it didn't like nothing clicked, and then years and years later, I was either watching something like on the Science Channel, History Channel, or something like that, and at one point they're like, oh yeah, when that situation happened, everybody ended up taking over the last name of the person who had them, and I was like, oh, interesting, and it never like clicked until I got like until I got the information from the other people, and I was like, oh, okay, I know where they all were, but there's a hurdle past that I feel like I would be able to get maybe from Ancestry.com or like a DNA test, but
Hmm.
Yeah.
if it ends up being like scattered, then I feel like I'd hit another dead end, and I would have spent a bunch more money. But
I mean, honestly, after you get that and do like the DNA test, you really don't spend more money than that. They charge you enough and they give you enough resources after that.
it would be really cool is if like I took the DNA test and then they were like Ghana, and I'm like, cool. But I doubt that.
I think the thing that I would be worried about is that I ended up finding a long lost sibling or something, and then I'm like, hell, that's another person I gotta meet now. Oh man.
And then they're like, "What? You don't speak fluent Spanish?"
Yeah, right.
It's like all of us
Exactly.
do.
Look at this. Hey, look at this loser. He can't speak his native language. Let's laugh at him. Ah, ha, ha, ha. I'm like, you know what? Screw you guys. I'll stay here. We're going back to where the internet works.
Yeah, it has been fun. Um, yeah, this is a nice like chill stream. I like the progress that has been made from the
Yeah,
beginning of it.
I got lost in the sauce doing these rooms. I zoned out and I'm like, yeah, let's just go.
Yeah,
I've just been going.
yeah. So basically, welcome to Power Hour, like old school Power Hour. It was just me and Juan, and I'm like, so I found this nice spot where I want this big thing to be built, but we need to find a way to get there without without climbing over forests and trees and swimming across oceans. So I was like, let's build a railway. Partially because that's what Juan does in all this in like his normal Minecraft streams. Is like
Mhm.
he literally digs this giant hole all the way down the bedrock,
Dang.
and then takes all the or he like starts like this giant like a big chunk, like it's probably bigger than a chunk. Chunks are like 16 by 16 and maybe bigger, and like he'll just find a spot, and just hollow out the whole thing. Like just going what like he'll go around the edge and then just work his way up and down across the whole thing. And then once his inventory gets full, and then he just and he leaves like this stairway around the edge. He'll just go back up his stairway, hop on his rail. Oh, craft railway pieces and all that kind of stuff. And then he'll get on the rail and just drive to the end, just ride to the end, and then just start putting down more pieces.
That is
And then with all the
very
other
smart.
stuff, yeah, with all the other stuff that's left over, then he'd ride back to his house, and then next to his house or base is this gigantic staircase, and he will walk up to the staircase and put a block on each step, and just keep it just goes up to the sky, and then his inventory is empty. And then he'll go back over to his hole and just keep continuing down and dig down another level around the edges, and then work his way down one column next, one column next. It's just the most zen stream. So I'm like, he likes building railway. In order to keep him entertained, let's build a railway to where I want to go. And that's how the first season started.
You know what I just realized?
Hmm.
I never changed my title
Or the category.
or the category.
I saw the
just-
category. When I was looking for something. Oh no! When I pulled up my phone, it was like signature stream by Cat Dungeons. I was like, oh.
So
I
y'all
think
are
you're-
zenned
you're
out.
talking, and I don't want to interrupt you.
Yeah, y'all are zenned out, and I'm doing what I always do best. Get sidetracked and go do something else after I've done the main task that I was meant to do.
To be fair, we're kind of in a dungeon in Minecraft. That's how I'm justifying it.
I'm off doing things that Taco probably don't want me doing, as always.
I'm standing by the stairs, and the freaking not pig, what is it?
Piglin?
Not piglin, not is
Hoglins? Skeletons?
wait, the
Zombie
one- the one
pigmen?
Tyrannosaurus Rex.
Turkey.
They used to be called pigmen before the whole piglin thing changed, like the old school dudes.
The zombie piglins?
Oh, okay, yes,
Zombie Pigman.
yeah. He like
Wait, they changed their names?
No.
yeah, because it used to be just the pigmen, and then when they added the piglins, then there's like the regular piglin, and then the like the old school pigmen is now the zombie pig. I like didn't know the word and ran out of breath at the same time. So now they're the zombie piglin, right?
Zombified piglin. If that's what your question is. I'm honestly, I'm a little bit still confused on what your question is.
The ones that don't really seem like they have like
Zombified piglin. Pigman.
yeah. And it's weird because he's like skeleton. So I'm like, when I see him, I don't think zombie.
You
But
think
yeah.
somebody stopped eating halfway through their meal?
But yeah. So I'm standing at the base of the stairs, looking down the hallway. Hello. And signature. And the dude walked up next to me and all up in my ear, and he's like, I'm like, whoa. Back up. But yeah.
He was trying to talk. He was trying to whisper sweet nothings into your ear.
Yeah.
I want to disinfect my ear now. But yeah.
I've just done a whole bunch of random stuff. I've like achieved so much random stuff that it was not necessary at all. After I finished placing all the glass and pushing down as much nether brick as I could, and then making a basically like mini super smelter, I guess you can kind of say. And then left after that because I couldn't do anything.
What am I doing? Doing something.
Huh?
I was doing something and I forgot.
Once you get back to where you were, you're like, oh yeah.
I think there's a bed that needs some combustion.
Ooh, that's very deadly.
And then there's a big black booger now.
Oh, Kiki brought me a little one earlier.
Don't you attack me, I have gold. Yeah, you go somewhere else. Yeah, walk in the fire, you piece of bacon. It'd be a terrible time for my sword to break.
Oh, really?
Ah,
Now?
they're multiplying like boogers.
Oh my gosh.
Why do so many show up?
Don't they split in half, or is that?
No, the last one blew up into like 4 pieces.
Oh, okay.
Or maybe I'm just exaggerating. I don't know.
Well, it depends on the size. Because the big one does split in half, and then when it gets smaller, it does split into 4.
Okay.
Yeah, so I wasn't exaggerating.
No. You were not exaggerating. Exaggerating.
Exacerbating the situation.
That.
Yeah, suck it, fire. You didn't burn me this time.
What games next week?
What happened?
What games next week?
I don't know. I'm down for whatevs.
What about Human Fall Flat?
Oh no, the last map you picked was not the friendliest. I don't know if I'm ready to try that kind of suffering again.
Oh wait, that was the one where you had to jump on that ball.
Yes.
Oh no, I'm not ready for that.
I think I posted like Light Bear and that one-armed chef or whatever it was called.
Oh yeah.
I posted those 2, and I know for surely that they're free. Welcome back, kid.
If I find something that I think would be kind of cool and I gift it to y'all, would y'all be willing to try? Because there was that Darksiders game that was kind of like a dungeon crawler type, and I was like, it's only $7.50. It's not that bad. But I didn't know if it's something that y'all would accept. But
I will always accept free.
But yeah, I don't want it to be all like, oh,
No.
it's an obligation. But yeah, if I find something that's cool and it's not gonna like break the bank, and I gift it to y'all, would y'all be okay? As long as it's, something that I think would be interesting for all of us.
I'm
not just
100% okay
a
with
game
that.
that I want to play.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'm on board.
That came back after work to check on me. Aw, cute. I'm just mining. Yeah. What? What'd I do?
Gigi,
What'd I do?
did you hear signature?
Yeah! I'm sorry. I was saying, yeah, I'm totally fine with that.
Oh, okay. I think you
Oh,
were muted when you said that.
oh, well, yeah. Of course, I didn't click the button when I unmuted. Yeah, but I'm fine with that. I'm like Taco. I
Okay,
accept
cool.
all gifts.
Cool.
Yeah, I've heard of Darksiders. I just haven't tried it out yet.
Well, it's that was wow, that was a weird way to start the sentence. I'm sorry. Yeah. No, 'cause it's like an old school hack and slash game, and this one was different from that, and they made it
I'm pretty sure
multiplayer.
I'm
So I was like,
lost,
oh, that
but
would
you
be
know, fine.
interesting. So
Everything
if I see it go on sale
within
again,
my hall.
I'll I'll give y'all a heads up, I guess, and be like, hey, would this be something that y'all are interested in?
Icky.
Did we have Runbow on Steam?
Runbow?
I thought we already played that.
We did. We played it on Steam, right?
Yeah.
It's gonna be free on Epic.
What? Not even gonna lie. Kinda already thought it was free.
What's Runbow?
Another. It's
I
kind
feel
of.
like I
I'm pretty
asked y'all
sure
this
it's like.
before.
I'm pretty sure it's
So-
similar to Bombsy.
So imagine, you know those levels in Mario where the world, like I guess Mario 3 or something like that, where the world it kept pushing you.
Oh yeah.
It's either that or it's a race. I can't remember. I think it might just be a race. And the reason why it's called Runbow is because
How's your homework coming along,
the
Cat?
platforms that you jump on and run across will be the same. There's what, 6 colors. So like the platforms will be red and the background will be green, yellow, and the red ones you can see, but and the yellow ones you can't see, which means like they don't exist anymore. And then
Yeah.
the whole world will wipe and it'll turn red, and now you can see yellow, you can see blue, you can see purple, but all the red ones disappeared. So
Oh,
if
so
you,
it's like Rainbow, but it's Runbow.
yeah, so
You know,
if you
Wumbo.
time it
That's
if you time it
good.
wrong, you
Glad.
can jump and try to
Oh.
land on the red one. Thing wipes red, and then
I've
you just
somehow
because it's not
gone all the way
gone now.
around, and I'm now at the surface.
Oh.
I don't even know
I think
how.
if you click on it in the Epic thing, you can, or in Steam, you can watch the trailer. But yes, next week, Runbow will be free.
Whoa!
Okay.
I found a broken spawner.
Broken how?
As in, it doesn't have anything in it.
Oh yeah, a ton of those. Well, not a ton. I found one. Yeah. Oh, I found one and then I broke it because I didn't know. I thought it was gonna put it wherever I want.
I had never seen that.
Yeah, this world's chin.
I'm also completely lost, so.
We'll find Kiki next time on Dragon Ball Z.
Yep, I pulled the miner's trick. I went mining, and I'm no clue where I'm at now.
No.
No, nothing happened, but it scared the crap out of me.
Okay. I
Got my trusty bucket. I saw the lava coming, and then I dodged left, and I was like, fire!
You dodge left. Exit stage right. Finishing up a lab, and then tomorrow I'm only have to do a lab assignment and capstone, which sounds like a lot. But today I did the exam, 2 quizzes, and first class. I told you I'm lost. I don't know where I am.
Making her way downtown, walking fast.
If anything,
climbing
I'm
blocks.
pretty sure I'm going away even further. Okay, I think I've finally made it to the end of the tunnel. And there's more coal. Hold on, let me grab this real quick. Let me just get these last few pieces, and then I will go back to where I think I might have saw some surface at. Oh, that's a hole. Not falling in there.
These 3 hours went by really fast.
Yeah.
Very.
Time flies when you're having fun.
I forgot how much you can just lose track of time playing this game.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And like, it's like, what did you do in 3 hours? And it's like,
4 rooms.
it's like I added fire to what 4 or 5 rooms on the left, and then I cleaned up 4 or 5 rooms on the right and added fire.
I went
Oh, and
all
I
the
took
way down and back, added fire, added glass, added some nether brick, made a mini smelter, mini super smelter. Then I went and I made a whole bunch of beds. I made a whole bunch of potions. I built something, tore it down right after I built it. Then I went exploring. I found 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 stacks of coal. And now I am oh, and a broken spawner.
What you're saying is you were busy.
And I have no clue where I am.
Do the maps? Can you do a map in the Nether, or does it just show the overworld?
It just shows the nether roof.
Oh. Nice.
Alright.
Did you get the latest games in the deals room?
There's a good question. What were the last?
Ark and Gloom.
Ooh.
That's right. I saw him. That's right. Yeah.
I've been wanting to try Ark.
Okay.
This is the second time it's rolled around. Still haven't tried it. The people who made Ark also made a pirate ship game. What was that game called?
Wasn't Sea of Thieves, was it?
No. I can't remember. It was one of those games that like had a very terrible launch.
Oh, that's a drown.
A drown in the Nether?
I'm not in the nether.
Oh.
I'm in the
Where are you?
overworld. I said I was lost in the overworld.
She's in the tether.
I went mining.
Oh.
How do you think I found? Yeah, I found 5 stacks of coal in the nether.
I was like, that doesn't make sense, but okay. Oh, so you're just revealing all kinds of territory, making the game huge.
No, because there's a path right here.
Oh.
Where am I? I'm just behind the house.
Oh.
That's how big the house is.
Well, no, it was the fact that I started down the path. Like, I went down the path and then I went right. And I went off over there where there's no pathing or anything. And that's where I started. And I somehow ended like 30 blocks behind the house.
Huh.
But I got 1, 2,
Man,
3,
I
4,
want to
5,
go
6,
back and edit
7
the
and a
like.
half stacks of coal.
I wanna go and edit like the solo days before I started streaming the world. Or
Mm-hmm.
like I mapped like I thought that I was on like a big continent, and it like that's not true at all. Cause everything's like weirdly connected.
Make it.
It was just like why a lot of the oceans are just gravel because it was before the aquatic update. Um, and yeah, behind the house where you were, there's like mountains and stuff. And I'm like, if I would have went back there now, it would have been real mountain. Or Extreme Hills is what it was called before, or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
And then now it would have been real mountain.
Okay, well, I am. I did all of that, and so I am. Bada bing, bada boom. Done with that. Yes. Okay. Put you up. Put you up. That up.
I was gonna eat breakfast with someone tomorrow. They haven't.
Okay. I gotta get off.
Cool.
So I'll come back here. Work.
Yo, 96. Congratulations, cat. I'm so happy for
So much.
you.
It's great.
But yeah, I am going to go now because I got work in the morning. And I should have even streamed this long, but here I am. Oh my god. I do too, but yeah, God, I gotta get up earlier than you. Beep. Oh. Oh, but thank you for hanging out with us. It was fun. And thank you for everybody else that's just been chilling around. But yep, as always, I hope you all have a great day, night, evening, wherever you are in the world. And I'll see you guys tomorrow. Good night, cat. Sleep tight. Don't stay up too late. Take care of yourself. You got these. Yep. Good night, everybody. Of course, I like listening to y'all play while I do schoolwork. Yep, that doesn't surprise me. It's whatever you do to get your work done. Yep. Good night.